Hi, everybody, and welcome inside Frontwave Arena. We have the last of our quarterfinal matches here between the number 4 seed Kansas City Comets and the 5th seeded Milwaukee Wave. Alongside my broadcast partner, Christian Philemon, I'm Nick Vassos. Christian, these two teams, Kansas City and Milwaukee, no strangers to one another. They have played 1 million games over the regular season and in the playoffs, and these two teams are not afraid to get into a rock fight, although it seems that both teams' momentum is going in opposite directions.
It's going to be Slugfest City one way or another, the 4th meeting between the two this season. Now, 565 miles may separate the city of Milwaukee from Kansas City, but in terms of the Wave and the Comets, not much does. Very close in the standings and very close in terms of wins and losses collectively. One thing, though, that Milwaukee does remember is the fact that Kansas City knocked them out of the postseason last year. Will history repeat itself, or will it be rewritten, is the question we have to ask ourselves today.
Kansas City is going to rely, hopefully, on one of their big-time scorers, and that is the big Brazilian in the target. Tell us about him.
Rian Marquez, despite missing 5 games this season, he's got career highs in several statistical categories. A big target forward who is tough to defend, even harder to move off the ball.
And for Milwaukee, they've got 2 400-plus goal scorers, but it's another younger player that has taken all the headlines this year.
Look, Ian Bennett and Frank Tye might belong on the Mount Rushmore of players to compete in the Major Arena Soccer League, but you said it. I'm going to go with the youngster, the 23-year-old Alex Sanchez. In his 3rd season in the MASL, he's putting up MVP numbers. He is the straw that stirs head coach Giuliano Oliviero's coffee. He is the future of the MASL and the player to watch out for on Milwaukee.
This is the last of our quarterfinal matches. The winner here will move on tomorrow to take on the top-seeded Chihuahua Savage. It's Kansas City and Milwaukee coming up next on CBS Sports The Lazo. The Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon. The last of 4 quarterfinal matchups is happening right now between the 4-seeded Kansas City Comets and the 5th-seeded Milwaukee Wave. Alongside Christian Philemon, I'm Nick Vassos. Great to have you along here as we wrap up the quarterfinal round. There is the Comet Nation faithful traveling all the way from Middle America. They might be a little small, but they are loud and proud here at Frontwave Arena. Christian, it's great to see all the different fans from around the league converging in one area. It's been a lot of fun for us to be with all of them and celebrate all that is the Major Arena Soccer League.
I completely agree. In front of us, I'm seeing a Mellow Baltimore Blast jersey. I'm seeing an Ian Bennett jersey running right down there. Seeing all the Comets jerseys, the diversity in the house. It's a lot of fun, which is why they decided to do this kind of a bubble.
Hey, let's check in with a third member of our broadcast crew. Amanda Philemon's got more on today's matchup.
When the Wave and Comets get together, it's just as much about fouls, blue cards, and red cards as it is about goals, assists, and points. These two teams play a physical style of play against one another, and they know just enough to hit each other where it hurts. Now, in the regular season, these teams met up 3 times where the home team edged out on top each time. Now, the Milwaukee Wave, they were able to take 2 of the 3 games, but tonight in neutral territory, we're going to have to stick around to see who comes out on top. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Starting lineups for Kansas City. In goal, it's going to be Nicolau Neto, the 2 defenders, Chad Vandegrift and Nacho Flores, also the team captain. 2 midfielders, Ramon Palmer, Lucas Souza, and at forward, Zach Reagan. For Milwaukee, starting in goal, it's Willie B., William Bonahene. The 2 defenders, Mario Alvarez, Tony Walls. Midfielders, Ian Bennett, Alex Sanchez. And the forward, Frank Tayu, wearing number 70 in honor of his brother, Uzi Tayu. We are underway. Milwaukee wearing black tops, black shorts, and black socks trimmed in yellow. Turn shot, goal! Right off the bat, Kansas City, and Lucas Souza with the right foot gives Kansas City a 1-0 lead just 24 seconds into this one. Philly.
I mean, if that's not an indoor soccer goal, I don't know what to tell you. You barely were done finishing the starting lineups. A costly turnover, a quick turnaround by Lucas up in that upper right corner. And just like that, 30 seconds have barely transpired, and the Kansas City Comets draw first blood.
Lucas Souza, during the course of the regular season, he only played 9 games, a troublesome knee injury, finally started to heal up towards the end of the regular season, and once he got back on the field, he started scoring goals. Speaking of scoring goals, Alex Sanchez from downtown, and that one wide to the left.
This is going to be, you said it, a rock fight. Both teams not afraid to get physical with one another, and that should be interesting. The games that we've seen during the playoffs, the officials have been allowing the boys to play, but between the two sides, as we see a foul on the turf, Chad Vandegrift on Derek Huffman, you've got a team in the Kansas City Comets, #1 in penalty kills, but then you got the MASL's #1 power play team in that of the Milwaukee Wave. So if the fouls are going to be called, we might see that exhibited, but if any indication of the first 2 games occurs, we may not see any of this going on with the way the officials are letting the boys play.
Mario Alvarez behind the ball for Milwaukee in the left wing corner. Kansas City leading early 1-0. Here comes Alex Sanchez. He lets it roll through Carvalho. Now Bennett with a drive, and he sprays that one wide to the left. It comes over to Carvalho, and he fires that one up into the netting. They're coming out firing tonight, Philly.
Oh, yeah. Both teams are really getting a feel for one another, punching, throwing punches, not even trying to get a feel for one another, just going at it, which is why we called it a slugfest. Real quick, I just wanted to address this. You mentioned Frank Tayu wearing the number 70 in honor of his brother Uzi. Folks, nothing is wrong with Uzi. We just wanted to acknowledge that right now. Uzi is fine and well, and shout out to Frank's brother.
Thank you for having my back there. We don't want to scare anybody because we all love Uzi.
Of course we do.
13:42 in this opening frame. The Wave with the ball, moving it right to left. Carvalho's got it, goes off the boards. It takes a funny hop off the dasher boards into the right wing corner. Now back front and center to Asqueta. They affectionately call him Squid, Sean Asqueta. Now right side it goes to Steinwasher, and then back to the center circle to Alvarez. Alvarez on the Sockers logo, plays it near side to Alex Steinwasher. Paris Steinwasher brothers on this team. You'll hear that name a lot. Breno Oliveira's pass picked off by Pino. Guerrero Pino slots it through to Junior Kazim. Kazim runs on it. Instead, will play it back away from the goal to Henry Ramirez. Ramirez goes far side to the Comets team captain Nacho. Comets get fresh legs out there. Here comes Ramirez down the line. Over to Reagan. He cannot redirect it on goal. He heads it back in front of the goal, and then Tony Walls kicks it away with the left footer.
I mean, we're not watching an indoor soccer game so far. We're watching a track meet with the way both teams are sprinting up and down the turf.
Willie B., William Bonahene, 14-7-1 on the year, lays it off to Tony Walls.
Rochester's favorite son.
Absolutely. And Ian Bennett serving as a team captain for Milwaukee. Played near side to Max Ludwig. Into the target to Taiyu, turns left footer. That one blocked by Vandegrift. A second try, blocked again. And then headed into Neto. We'll hear a lot of blocks here. The Comets block an average of 14 per game, and they have the league's leading shot blocker in Vandegrift. Here's the counter. Marquez over to Souza. Can he make it 2 in a row? Willie B makes the save. No.
They don't call him the Wall for no reason. What a great save by William Bonaheny.
Here's Nacho with a touch up to Souza. Souza walking it in. Left-footed shot. Curling wide. Rebound by Marquez. Max Ferdinand, unclear if he was going to play tonight. But back to Ramon Palmer trying to chip Willie B just high above the crossbar.
That play does not happen had it not been for the defensive prowess of Chad Vandegrift. A couple of beautiful slide tackles getting in the way of Frank Taiyu, one of the most prolific scorers in the history of the Major Arena Soccer League.
Alex Sanchez looking to play it to Steinwasher, Javier Steinwasher. Neto comes off his line to kick it away. Kyle Gregg goes back along with Mario Alvarez chasing it. Kyle Gregg cannot get to it. Willie B does first. We'll play it near side to Correa. Correa battling with Christian Andreos. Andreos takes exception to the foul called by Rich Grady. 32-year referee veteran. Here's Mario Alvarez running in. Neto. And Alvarez on a collision course. And then a foul called against Milwaukee.
Alvarez had a nice clear path on that right side. He just had a heavy touch on the ball. It got away from him. Otherwise, he would have had a nice, clean look at Neto.
Good crew tonight. Rich Grady, again, in his 32nd year as the crew chief. This is his 75th playoff game. Arturo Ibarra. He is an 8-year veteran of the MASL. He is playing in his 5th playoff game. So a good crew here at Frontwave. 1-0 Kansas City, 10:37 to play in the opening quarter.
So what you're telling me is the officials have some experience tonight. I love it. Rich
am.
Grady, a legend in officiating in this league.
Almost a home game here for this gentleman with the ball. That's Henry Ramirez from Costa Mesa, California.
It's not the only one on the Kansas City Comets that could consider this a potential home game. Guerrero Pino played for the San Diego Sockers for a number of years. Almost a homecoming for him as well.
Reggett trying to turn on Esqueda. He does, and that one had some English on it. Took a funny hop. Willie B put his mitts on it and has it.
Zach Reggett last season led the Major Arena Soccer League along with Empire Strikers Marco Fabian in goals scored. He's another player to keep an eye on offensively.
Comets able to defend. Alex Steinwasher get it up to the half line. Now over to Guerrero Pino. Pino stops, plays it back to the center circle. It's Miatovic. A late season pickup for Kansas City over to Rion Marquez. Marquez playing out wide. Are they putting him at the midfield area? Typically, he is in the target near the top of the arc. Milwaukee takes over, and here comes Tony Walls.
I mean, you could argue that it's going to be a chess match between both coaches there. You mentioned it, Rian, normally a target forward, but we've got two very talented teams, two excellent coaches. So as we mentioned during the pregame show, I mean, you could flip a coin as to who could potentially win this game. It's really anybody's game, and it can be until the whistle finally blows.
No question. Breno Oliveira with a drive. That one blocked by Kansas City.
Another player who's having career highs, Breno Oliveira. He's been around, played for the Florida Tropics before. Him and Carvalho, great seasons.
Ball is picked off. Mikey Lennis thread down the left side. Shoots just wide. Rebound comes off to the near side. Kansas City trying to win the ball back. Milwaukee clears it out. Kansas City will take it back with Neto, passing it over to Reggett. Reggett feeds the corner, and Kyle Gregg, he turns, fires, and Willie B makes an easy save.
You're going to have to fire a missile towards Willie B. Went right to him. Got his paws all over that attempt.
Here's Ludwig. He's been a good pickup for Milwaukee late in the season. Now Ian Bennett. Look out for Ian. Forward it comes to Taiyu. Frank Taiyu in the left wing corner. Back to Alvarez.
That's a lot of goals career-wise between Frank Taiyu and Ian Bennett.
800 plus?
I don't know if I can count that high with the amount of goals they both scored.
Super Mario, front and center. Long drive, nearly deflected in. That one is off the foot of the Wave player. And then Kansas City throwing long, looking for Marquez. Kazim picks up the loose ball. Kazim out front. He's looking far post for Marquez, who was not there. This is taken back by Milwaukee and cleared up to Ian Bennett. Ian Bennett increasing his gait down the left side. Kazim's got a mark on him, stride for stride, into the left wing corner now, shielding him away. And a foul is called, and that's going to go against Ian Bennett of the Milwaukee Wave. Neto shaking up a little bit. Good sportsmanship there by Bennett and Neto.
Yeah, speaking of Bennett, I mean, Mother Nature, undefeated and never scored upon, but Mother Nature doesn't seem to affect a player in the likes of Ian Bennett because, like a fine wine, he gets better with age. He never lost a step. He continued to sprint up and down the turf, beating kids that are half his age. I love it. We're the same age, and, well, I look at him with just such awe for his athleticism and speed.
Now, you and I were talking about Bennett and also Frank Taiyu, and we're going to touch on that relationship here in a second. Meanwhile, here comes Javier Steinwasher, front and center to Taiyu, who shoots, and that one blocked by Palmer, who flashed in there in front of Neto. Zach Regged comes out with the rebound. He's tripped up, no call. Both teams fight for it. Palmer sends it long right to Tony Walls.
Great clean tackle by Asqueta. I can understand why they call him the squid. He had his tentacles all over that ball.
Here's up to Steinwasher. And Arreos with the steal. Oh, a heavy touch there. Got too far in front of him, and Walls able to knock it back to the half line. Taiyu trying to dig it out of the boards. A whistle and a foul. That's going to go against Kansas City.
Been calling Kansas City Comets games for quite some time. I mean, the different hairstyles that number 31, Christian Andreas, has had throughout the course of the year. I'm a little disappointed in the Tasmanian Devil. I was expecting a little more pizzazz in the postseason.
Now, he would have put some paint in there for you, Philly, but he was running short on time this week, so he just went for the cut.
Hey, I tell him, if you have the hair, enjoy it while you can, because you start losing it in places where you need it, gaining it in places where you don't want it as you get older.
6.5 to play in this opening quarter. It's 1-0 Comets in the last of these quarterfinal matches here. The winner will take on the Chihuahua Savage, the top seed in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs, and that'll be the early game on Sunday to whomever wins this game tonight.
Heard an interesting story prior to the broadcast. Number 23 on the Milwaukee Wave, Max Ludwig. There's a couple of games over the course of the week that he couldn't make, mainly due to the fact that his 9-to-5 wouldn't allow him to do that. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but that's still a fascinating story.
He's played real well for Giuliano Oliviero.
Yeah, Jules just got his jersey retired in the rafters in Milwaukee. Well-deserved, an amazing career, and he's doing an amazing job as head coach as well.
Stefan Stokic, the head coach for the Comets, took his club in his first year as head coach to the MASL Finals against Chihuahua. Here comes the Comets again. It's Marquez moving left. He shoots, and that one blocked by the Wave. Rebound comes out to Carvalho. Carvalho surrounded by a trio of red jerseys, and Marquez gets it back. The Comets will reset.
And with that blue turf and those red jerseys, you could argue that he fell into the Red Sea.
Hopefully he didn't dive. Here is Marquez. And a foul is going to be called against Milwaukee. Oh, back at the other end. What just happened?
I'll tell you what just happened. If you blinked, you missed the entire thing. They reset that so quick. Nobody was ready. Not the players on the turf, not Neto. I don't even think the players on the Milwaukee Wave were ready for that. We got to see that again. Good golly, old Molly.
What just happened? Did he blow the whistle?
Will they pull that back?
But will we have a review? No one has thrown the red flag. What is happening right now? Hang on, we got Ryan Sigich up here in our broadcast booth. Ryan, give me a little.
Yeah, Nick, so what the question is here by Kansas City is the placement of the free kick. To me, it looked like clear. Rich Grady called the foul in favor of Milwaukee, and then we had a quick free kick. And I think Kansas City's questioning the correct placement of that.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan Sigich. We will take a break right now. 1-1 is our score. We'll be right back. Okay, Kansas City is going to challenge that last goal by
Kansas
Milwaukee
City
on the
is
quick.
challenging that the ball was not in the correct place for the taking of the free kick. Play is under review.
I couldn't understand what the crew chief, Rich Grady, said there, but basically they're challenging the goal. It's under review. I'm sorry, what was that, Booth? Okay. So they're challenging the placement of the ball. There is the goal, and that's the first time. We apologize for the confusion. It happened so fast, and if you don't keep your eyes on the game, you're going to miss something like that. There was the whistle. Marquez goes off, and Javi Steinwasher just comes over and chips the ball. Neto was off his line and sunk it right in the back of the goal.
Regardless of whether or not that goal stands, you got to credit Steinwasher for that heads-up play, realizing that Neto was well outside of his position, try to take full advantage of it. So if he gets the goal, I mean, incredible. But even if he doesn't, I appreciate the heads-up and trying to utilize all your tools and time to your advantage.
I think this is going to stand. Yep. The goal stands. We are level at 1 on a goal from beyond the half line by Javi Steinwasher.
His 5th career playoff goal. He had 34 career goals in 80 games played over the course of the regular season, but just an amazing heads-up play and just so smart to take advantage of Neto being outside of the box, well over his head. And Neto's a tall guy. There was only so much that he can do unless he harnessed his inner Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic stretch arms. There's no way he would have made that save.
So Kansas City uses their challenge, and they do not have a red flag for the rest of the game. Level at 1, here we go. Kansas City and Milwaukee, you never know what you're going to get between these two rivals, and already a little bit of craziness here between these two teams. Battle forward on the midfield stripe, and it's picked up there by Alex Steinwasher, walking it in. Lucas Souza reaches around with a left foot and taps it away. Kansas City kicks it back towards the half line. That's kicked in by Milwaukee. Now Pino, here is a shot. What a save by Neto. Full extension to keep the game tied at 1. That was Breno Oliveira with the shot, and a terrific save by Neto.
Two brethren from Brazil, but Neto busted his Brazilian brother's attempt at firing one off. Talked about Mr. Fantastic stretching out the arms. Neto utilized it there.
Yeah. Neto, one of the taller keepers in the MASL. Milwaukee's ball with 4:37 left in this opening quarter. Here's Oliveira. He loses it to Kyle Gregg. Kyle Gregg moving down and forward to Andreas off the wall. Andreas shoots. That one blocked or saved by Willie B. I could not tell. Lucia Tetsane. Tetsane and Alex Sanchez get in a mix, and that one knocked out of bounds. And that one will go off of Kansas City.
A strong start to today's ball game. Yesterday, you and I had the honor and privilege of calling that Chihuahua Savage St. Louis ambush game, and we didn't get to see that many goals throughout the duration of the game, but to have goals by both teams scored in the first quarter, if this is any indication as to how the rest of this game is going to go, I'm pumped.
We've seen all kinds of crazy games, big comebacks from both of these teams in playoff games and regular season games. Marquez settles it on the blue turf, gets control of it, then gets taken down by Tayu. And a foul is called against Milwaukee. And Marquez is shaken up a little bit on the play. Remember, Marquez has to get up pretty quickly, or if he goes, he'll have to go out of the game for 2 minutes. He's holding, maybe he took an elbow to the face. I don't know if we can get a replay while they tend to Marquez. Well, it looks like he might be getting up.
He was making his run, and I think he pushed Tony Walls off the ball, but then he ran into Frank Tayu. So these are two players with very similar height structures and size. And when you got two big giants like that colliding with one another, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And Rian Marquez did take a fall, but he's up running back to the bench, and it's good to see that he's okay.
Marquez will go off. Miatovic will trigger the restart on the Waves yellow line. That's 50 feet away from the goal. Miatovic rifles one in there. Willie B. Yes, the save.
Miatovic put all the meat behind his leg on that shot towards Willie B.
Oh, and there is a mistake by the Wave. That'll give the Comets a chance at the top of the arc. Coming up here with 3:46 to play in the opening frame. The winner here will take on the top seed, Chihuahua Savage, tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock local time, 11 o'clock Eastern, high noon Central.
See if you could have a little bit of that Concafa TST magic between Steph and Zach Reggett. Both players played with one another in the TST.
Flicked back to Nacho, just above the crossbar. Comes off to Tetsani, now Miatovic. He'll play it away from the goal to Tetsani, right back to Stefan.
That was close enough for one of your ding-dong calls, Nick.
It sure was. It was right above the crossbar. And those are that cage back there, that red cage, that's made of metal. And when they hit that, it makes a loud, ugly noise.
I will admit, during my calls for the Empire Strikers, the play-by-plays, I steal a little bit from you. You say ding-dong, I usually go ding-dong, ring-a-ling-a-ling, to not make it that apparent that I'm stealing lines from you, but...
You can use it all you want to, Philly.
Fair enough. I will lend you the Smurf call, too, then. And if you want to talk to Uncle Franz, by all means, as long as I get to have some of Grandma's cookies.
Hey, I started my career in radio. In that business right there, you steal everybody else's work and call it your own.
Fair enough. Sounds like capitalism to me.
2:48 to play in this opening quarter. Milwaukee with the ball. Into the corner to Carvalho. Vandegrift, the likely defender of the year. We had a good defense on him. Now Chad steps up and kicks it long, looking for Mikey Lennis. Ian Bennett picks up the rebound. Eventually on back to Tony Walls. Now swing it near side for Ian Bennett. IB26 prancing down the left side of the field. Takes it deep into the left wing corner. Marked by Tetsani. Away from the goal, down to Tony Walls. On over to Super Mario Alvarez. Leave it for Alex Sanchez, who has been incredible now. A steal. Here is Andreos. Over to Mikey Lennis, who shoots and save. Made by Willie B with the left hand. Falling away. Willie B has been the wall. Now Tetsani again. Into the middle. Shot by Mikey Lennis. That one partially blocked by Sanchez. Now both players go down in a heap. And the play has getting physical here. We're still in the first quarter.
Might want to take a look at those boards with the impact that it was absorbed by both Comets and Wave.
1:52 to play in this opening frame. Comets scored in the first 30 seconds of this, and then Javi Steinwasher from a shot that caught the Comets napping from beyond the half line. Here's Tayu in the target. And Tayu called for the foul for reaching behind to Pino.
Oh, the battles that Guerrero, Pino, and Frank Tayu have had throughout the years. You're looking back at those Ontario Fury San Diego soccer days.
Here's Marquez back out on the field. Sliding it over to Pino. Pino back to Marquez. Dummies it through to Kazim. Junior Kazim moves to his left. Now front and center for Miatovic. A soul roll to the right. Working on Tayu. Miatovic will back it away. Comets will reset. Miatovic looking to get it into Marquez, who's isolated on Max Ferdinand. Now they do get it down to Marquez. Marquez has probably 5 inches on Max in terms of height and several pounds as well. Miatovic in the corner.
And Tony was holding his forearm as Marquez was trying to find an open player.
Lucas Sousa. Here's Correa. Now back the other way comes Javier Steinwasher into the left wing corner for Tayu. Max Ferdinand and Ludwig. Ferdinand to Taiyu. Taiyu trying to turn. Several Comets go down on the log roll to block that one. Javi Steinwasher puts it up into the netting. Frank Taiyu, a 4-time MVP, still looking for his first Ron Newman Cup championship. He's been a legendary player in this league, but one thing he does not have on his resume, and that is an MASL Ron Newman Cup.
And he's come so close on so many occasions with multiple teams. Solis to Sonora, time with the Monterey Flashes, time with the Ontario Fury. Can he do it with the Wave, though?
We've got 3 quarters to decide that. We are tied at 1 in a crazy first 15 minutes. What else is in store for us in this last quarterfinal? Kansas City 1, Milwaukee 1. The Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon. We'll be right back.
I'm not really big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the first episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
For there is a bullseye. We need you to hit that bullseye, all right? Are you ready? All right, we're gonna count you down in 3, 2, 1, and go! All right, he gave that a nice kick. Doesn't look like it's gonna make it all the way, but you know what, Finley? We're still gonna give you a pretty cool prize today for being a good contestant. Congratulations on this contest presented to you by Verizon. Congratulations. Everybody give him a big round of applause.
MITRE is the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Established in 1817, MITRE is one of the leading soccer brands worldwide and produces some of the best soccer balls in the world. Learn more at mitre.com.
Alongside Christian Philly Philemon, I am Nick Vassos and our sideline reporter Amanda the Panda Philemon. Glad you're with us here at Frontwave Arena as the Comets and the Wave are renewing their rivalry once again, and it is in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. The 4th and final quarterfinal matchup with the winner here headed to tomorrow.
A lot of history between these two teams, and we've talked about it. Now, one thing I've always been accused of not doing when I was in grade school was not checking my numbers. But if the numbers upon my research are correct, the Milwaukee Wave, 25 wins to the Kansas City Comets, 22. So that's not that big of an edge between these two sides in what is their 48th meeting all time.
Kansas City now moving it right to left. Here's Willie B to our left.
Comets with 8 shots in the first quarter, the Milwaukee Wave with 4, but the Wave have been a lot better with their efficiency, and again, that shot by Javi Steinwasher to create the equalizer, but it only took 24 seconds for KC to get on the boards with that incredible turnaround goal by Lucas Souza.
Here's Carvalho on the far touchline, plays it front on the way back to Alvarez. Tony Walls leaves it for Breno Oliveira. Kansas City, Milwaukee tied at 1. Lucas Souza with a goal. Also Javi Steinwasher. Nacho Flores with some good defense on Tony Walls. Willie B lifts it up towards the center circle and then out of bounds.
It's a 50-50 attempt, though, as Lucas Souza went up, and it looked like he hit the face of Breno Oliveira.
Milwaukee 14-8-2, the 5 seed during the course of the regular season. Kansas City 15-7-2, the number 4 seed.
You say Milwaukee's had the better run of form over the course of the last 5. I think they're 3-2, whereas the Comets about 2-3 in their last 5.
Comets did not finish the season well, regular season well. They've had not only injuries slowed them down, but it was the toughest part of their schedule with trips to Chihuahua, trips to San Diego, also trips to Tacoma, which is never an easy place to win.
No, I mean, nobody has won in Chihuahua. Nobody has won in San Diego. Very tough places to play.
Restart, free kick coming up to Kansas City. Here's Neto. Neto asking for help. He rolls it into the corner, gets it to Marquez, shielding away the defender in Ferdinand. Marquez turns and fires. Ferdinand blocks. Back to Nacho. Near side Marquez. Rion into Kazim. Now a rebound shot. That one from Nacho goes up into the net. Goalkeeper distribution coming up for Milwaukee.
A good heads-up play by Marquez, seeing Kazim wide open. Just did not get enough on that.
The ball got wedged in the corner there, but they've got it out for Willie B.
Willie B, the type of athlete that you never expect to play indoor soccer. Man could easily play football with his size. I've loosely said players are built out of rock, but if anybody's built out of stone in this league, it's William Bonaheny.
Forward to Junior Kazim, the London, England native. Over to Tetsane. Now Andreos to Mikey Lennis, into the middle to Kazim, could not redirect it on. Steinwasher clears it away. Pino is back there to head it to Andreos, but it's tapped forward for Ludwig. Ludwig picks up the loose ball, looks far post for Huffman, wide to the left.
Alvarez hit the deck moments ago. He was down, but quickly got up. And it looks like we have a challenge flag on the turf, Nick. Possibly on that foul that occurred on Alvarez when he hit the deck. Both teams using that challenge flag very early with still so much time to be played.
Sure is. Now remember, a reminder that once the challenge flag is used, it is gone for the rest of the game.
Milwaukee is challenging
to reiterate,
for a
Kansas
missed blue
City
card.
no longer has
Play
that
is under
because they
further
burned
review.
it. So the challenging for a blue card. Going to the monitor. So take a look. Let's see if we can catch the replay right here again. There's Christian Andreos battling. And that's where the potential foul did occur. So that's what we're going to see on the replay, and that's what the officials are looking at. As a reminder, if that challenge flag gets accepted and awarded, it's kept. If the challenge gets denied, challenge flag is burned, then no team have a challenge flag for the duration of today's game.
Now, there is a new rule in the MASL, and a challenge can be generated from up here where we are. We have Director of Officials Ryan Sigich, and one of the new rules is that you can challenge something. Ryan can say, he can call down and say that this could be a challengeable offense, but it has to be approved by the crew chief down on the floor. So we're looking at the replays here. Are they looking? Oh, they're looking for a foul there on Andreos. Yep, there was contact. Is it 2 minutes? Here comes the call from crew chief Rich Grady.
Some more careful deliberation again. Got to make sure that that challenge flag gets utilized properly.
After further review, the call on the field stands. It was a simple foul. We played advantage. There is no blue card. Milwaukee ball, restart in front of their bench. Their challenge is used.
All right. I don't know if you heard that at home, but the call on the field stands, and Milwaukee has used their challenge flag. We're getting an explanation also from Ryan Sigich, who's up here in the broadcast booth with us. It'll be Milwaukee's ball. They'll have it in front of their bench. They're moving it left to right.
Again, with both flags being used so early on. What more drama are we going to see? 2 quick goals in the first quarter. A lot of drama already. But could you expect anything less than this rivalry?
Into the left wing corner, it comes out to Kansas City. Lucas Souza pops it up to the center circle. Miatovic with a touch, and Henry Ramirez running towards the ball. Ian Bennett's going to be whistled for the foul. Comets are going to get a restart here inside the yellow line. Good opportunity for Kansas City.
IB 26.
Oh, they're going to bring it out inside the yellow line. All right. Alex or Zach Regan is saying, hey, that was inside the yellow line. Nope.
Take a look at Lucas Souza on that far post.
Miatovic with the left footer. Shazam! From downtown, 2-1 Kansas City.
You call Shazam Sim Salabim, bottom right corner, where the dust mites dwell. Off that restart, Miatovic, now he really used all of his meat to thread that through bottom right. Incredible goal by Miatovic. We've seen him do that a time or two throughout his career, not only in the Major Arena Soccer League, but of course also with the TST. And a big answer, and that Kansas City contingent is giving their roar of applause, standing up. They're thrilled with that goal.
Miatovic, he rolled right past Comets Nation, and everybody stood up on their feet and gave him a round of applause and a roar.
Trying to find a space in this really talented Kansas City Comets team. It was an eye-opener when he went there. He's kind of been around the MASL, but punching his name in the playoff offensive category tonight.
Here's Andreas with a shot. That one just above the crossbar. Vandergriff holds it in. Walls it over to Ramon Palmer. Squirts out of Bonahenne's hand. Now Souza with a left footer, and Steinwasher blocks that one. Nacho back to Souza. On over to, oh boy, what a save by Willie B. That was off Nacho. Willie B was screened at the last minute.
Yeah, he had some 20/20 vision on there. I think he had 2 players screening in front of him. What a heads-up play by Willie B. He's not one of the best in this game protecting the sticks for no reason. Outstanding save by Willie B.
Max Ferdinand and Mario Alvarez sends it near side to Oliveira. 10:58 left to play until halftime. Comets out shooting Milwaukee unofficially 9-2. Here's Ferdinand. He goes wide to the left to Ludwig. Ludwig, couple of soul rolls to his right. Will change the point of attack over to Alvarez. Mario moving to his left. Off the boards, and Neto's got it. Kyle Gregg got tangled up with a carpet monster and went down.
Carpet monster out of the deep blue sea of that turf.
I will say some of the players have commented on this this new turf here in San Diego. There's a layer of padding underneath, and then it's a pretty thick layer of turf, and so it's rather squishy, and it was described to me like running on like tall grass. If you're out there outside playing, that's what it kind of feels like for some of the players out there.
Geez, not a very pleasant image. I mean, the idea right now of running at my age doesn't sound appealing, but I could imagine what they must feel like. I heard tall grass. In some cases, I even heard quicksand in certain spots.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful turf, still needs to get worked through. First season here and first season in this beautiful arena.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, looks like maybe Mikey Lennis going to be whistled for a foul.
Mikey Lennis in his 2nd season in the Major Arena Soccer League. Product of SKC2 in the USL. I know SKC2 MLS Next Pro, but I believe during his time when he played it was USL.
Warning for delay of game on Mikey Lennis. There's the official call. Alvarez swings his right foot through it and sends it into the corner. Vandergriff pops it up into the air. Steinwasher and Kazim give chase. Andreas comes over to knock it free. Javi trying to chase the loose ball. So's Mikey Lennis. Here comes Tayu. Frank Tayu gathers the ball, plays it to Alvarez. Swing it left side for Sanchez. Sanchez from downtown. Boy, he has a really quick, powerful shot. Now Tony Walls. One touch. He shoots wide to the right.
That was ever so close by Tony Walls. A lot of precision. A lot of velocity behind his shot.
Here comes Willie B. He sends a worm burner on the carpet up to Taiyu. Taiyu shields away Vandegrift, now turns on Tetsane. And down on the log roll is Vandegrift to take it away. Mikey Lennis with the ball, splits two defenders, still going forward, and then Tony Walls does the same thing to knock it away, but the Comets maintain possession. Zach Reggett, in a possible angle, goes wide left. Kyle Gregg at the top of the arc, plays it away to Miatovic. Miatovic looks at his options. Plays it near side for Vandegrift. To the corner, to Kyle Gregg, into Zach Reggett. Now Kyle Gregg out front and center, could not put it on target. Vandegrift goes down. Can Milwaukee counter? Here comes Alvarez. He swings it, puts the ball behind Taiyu. That'll allow the Comets to catch up. And now the Comets look to counter. It's a 2v1. Miatovic moving to his left will slow it down. Milwaukee is catching up. And Miatovic goes down. Bennett comes out with the ball. Here's Ian Bennett back the other way. 2v2. Bennett moving to his right, shoots, and Neto makes the save.
And Ian Bennett defensively, offensively, running through everybody.
Henry Ramirez. He is fouled by Carvalho, and the Comets will have it with 8:13 to play here in the first half.
Well, physical, just like we originally anticipated. But the officials are allowing both teams to play.
Marquez, good ball, shot, ding dong off the post. The second try by Ramon Palmer. Over the glass, goalkeeper distribution.
God, that looked really close from my angle for a split second. I thought it might have crossed. This miter ball took a couple of funky bounces, but no goal there.
Willie B with a distribution out to Carvalho, now Sousa. And Correa battle. And Cesar Correa will give way to Max Ferdinand. Back to Willie B, looking for some players to come up. Plays it long, looking for Breno Oliveira. And a foul called on Oliveira of the Wave. 7:45 to play until the half is over. Near side, Nacho. We're approaching our official timeout, so the next stoppage here, we will go to break. Oliveira across the line to Sousa, gets it out to Zach Reggett. Zach looking to turn, but now surrounded by 4 black jerseys. Here's some help from the Comets. Mikey Lennis, Nacho, and then kicked away to Carvalho. Here's Carvalho down the right side. Carvalho will turn as the Comets get back defensively.
Both teams doing a really good job tracking back. Both getting caught in some quick counters. But that split indecision has created a stoppage for both sides. And then, in some cases, counters on the other attack.
Long one from Willie B to his opponent, Neto, getting the start here. Philip Ejimadu can not go, perhaps still feeling some of the effects of a lower back strain. Kicked long, Guerrero Pino tracking back with Derek Huffman. Pino will go across the field to Kazim. Kazim to Henry Ramirez. Ramirez running up the boards, and he's pinned up against the boards. Foul called on Milwaukee. And apparently we're going to continue to play. Okay. All right. Here's Tetsane. Back to Neto. Neto up to the half line. Steinwasher. A touch by Ferdinand. Up to Ludwig. Alvarez surveying with Marquez out in front of him. Steinwasher. Max Ferdinand. The Wave, winners of a Ron Newman Cup in 2019. Taiyu. Several players collapsed on Taiyu once he got the ball. Back out to Alvarez. Last year, back into Taiyu. Taiyu to Correa. Correa goes down. Several other Comets go down, and a foul called on Milwaukee. Fans might remember the Comets took out Milwaukee to advance to the Ron Newman Cup Finals last year. Milwaukee had that incredible upset down in Monterey where they came from one game down to win 2 games on the road in Monterey.
Yeah, beating a team that went 24-0 on the regular season.
Steinwasher with a toe poke, that one wide to the right. Steinwasher bangs it off the boards again, and Neto is there, read it perfectly.
We just caught note that Frank Taiyu's on 3 fouls, so that's another thing to keep an eye on.
And Taiyu is off the field. Here's Vandegrift. Oliviero takes him off. Souza forward to Marquez. Marquez crossed the field. Souza's got it. Trying to move to his left. No foul on Milwaukee, and here come the Wave. Wave up to Escueda. Escueda forward to Carvalho, but Marquez tracking back. Now Escueda picks up the loose ball. Rebound off the top of the dasher boards. And now one off the glass. 4:37 to play until halftime. Ramon Palmer cannot catch up with that ball that went off the official, Ibarra.
It already looks like Chad Vandergrift pulled a rip in his compression leggings the amount of times he's hit the deck.
Oh, Huffman with a try, and Neto right place, right time for that save. Foul called on Ludwig against Marquez. Marquez holding his left knee.
Holding the back of it, then clutching the front. I mean, he's taken a couple of hits. A little battered and bruised, but nothing's going to stop the big man today, not with so much on the line.
Mikey Lennis unmarked. He'll shoot. Wide left. Rebound. No good. A third time. Goal! Kansas City! It is 3-1 Comets.
Persistence pays off on that goal. Right place at the right time. 1 shot's fired, doesn't go. Another attempt. 3rd time's a charm, as they say. And the Comets go up by a commanding lead of 3-1 with 4:07 remaining in the second quarter. Folks, we're going to head to that media timeout, and we'll be back in a moment.
All right, back live inside Frontwave Arena. Let's take a look at that last goal scored by Kansas City. Kyle Gregg on the doorstep here. Philly, take a look and tell us what you see here.
1 attempt. Willie B got his hands on it. 3rd time was a charm again. Right place at the right time, just to echo the call I had earlier. Persistence paid off for the Kansas City Comets, and a huge statement maker going up on the Milwaukee Wave 3-1.
Kyle Gregg is a player that the Comets picked up late in the season. Stefan Stokic had his eye on this player last year, but he was unable to acquire him. And the two met in the halfway through the season, and Kyle said, you know what, Coach? I might be able to give you something here for the last month of the season. And so here he is, and he contributed during the last part of the regular season and certainly is here in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs.
Yeah, only 3 games played during the regular season. 1 goal, 1 assist, but a huge goal in the playoffs.
Oliveira, he's got it on the near touchline. He'll play it away from the goal back to Ferdinand. Kansas City leading 3-1. 3:51 to play until halftime. Kansas City unofficially outshooting Milwaukee 10-5. Philly, if you've got official stats, hit me with them. Carvalho with an incredible shot. That one off the near glass, no good. A second try, and Neto slams the door.
It's a lot of back and forth action. I'm afraid to take my eyes off the ball. We had to pay the price for that one just for a second, but the official stats are really close, Nick. 11 shots by Kansas City, 9 by the Milwaukee Wave.
Thank you, Philly, for the update.
Anytime, my friend. As I've said in our last game, just an honor to be in the booth with you. See if Milwaukee can respond.
Long drive and a penalty. The first penalty of the game. Rich Grady pulls it. And Neto's got his hands in the air. Let's see what the call is here. It looks like maybe holding against someone. It looks like, here it is.
2-minute blue card, power play, handling, 31, Kansas City.
So Andreas is going to head to the sin bin.
So it'll be a power play for Milwaukee.
And this will be a good advantage for the Wave, Nick, because the Wave are #1 in terms of the power play this season. They were 12 for 27 with the man advantage, 44% when in this position.
Taiyu comes back on. It's offensive play, so Taiyu comes back on. Also look for Max Ferdinand or Ian Bennett. Both of them lead the Wave in power play goals with 3 apiece. So you've got Sanchez, Bennett, and Taiyu all on the field right now. They're 3 top scorers.
It's a 3-headed monster if I've ever seen one.
Alvarez, the trigger man. The Comets are putting 4 in the wall, plus Neto makes 5. Neto with some chatting with Rich Grady.
Neto knows the thing about insurance is that's what he does as his day job for Northwestern Mutual. Looking for all the insurance he can get with just such limited space between the ball and the goal.
Neto's one of those goalkeepers. He knows what he wants.
He's also not afraid to let you know.
I think we're finally ready to go. They're going to walk off the wall here. They're going to back up Kansas City a little bit more. Neto's saying, are you kidding me? You got to back us up that far? Rich Grady says, yep, here we go. Alvarez, 2 steps behind the ball. Now backs away. Shot! Goal! Wave goal by their young superstar, Alex Sanchez. It is 3-2.
I was going to ask you, are we talking about Grandma's cookie jar or Uncle Franz's schnapps? Either way, it was top shelf. What an absolute bomb of a shot. And we talked about him during the pregame, the player that stirs. Head coach Giuliano Oliviero's coffee is that man right there, punching his name into this game and into the playoffs, cutting into that Comets lead. It's now 3-2.
Alex Sanchez has just erupted on the scene. He first 2 years in the league really didn't do much, and then this year he has had some consideration for most valuable player, and rightfully so.
What did he have, 9 goals last season? This season finishing the regular year with nearly 30?
Yep.
Incredible.
Foul called on the Wave. Some displeasure displayed by the Wave bench. Here's Vandegrift. He'll send it down into the left wing corner to Reggett. Reggett shielding away the defender. Here's a drive by Tetsane. That one comes off the glass to Huffman. Huffman leaves it for Javi Steinwasher. Forward it comes to Alex Steinwasher. He moves to his right. Huffman shoots. Huffman scores. We are level at 3.
The beauty of indoor soccer, no lead is safe. What a quick response by the Milwaukee Wave. A series of goals over the course of 90 seconds. Let's take a look at that replay. This fancy footwork. Steinwasher putting on the brakes, created that space as Vandergrift did all he could to hustle there. Huffman found the spacing that he needed, and he gets to trickle it past Neto, and we are tied 3-3.
What a great job there by Alex Steinwasher to stop his momentum, let Vandergrift slide through, calmly slot the ball to the far post, and Derek Huffman will never score an easier goal in his career than he did right there.
I think if you or I were on the turf, we could have scored that goal because it was just a beautiful counter. One Steinwasher scores the goal, the other Steinwasher gets the dime.
Derek Huffman has a tattoo of a cannon on his right leg, but he didn't need it there. Kansas City at the other end, challenging once again, but blast that one up into the net. 2:34 to play until halftime. We are tied at 3. Nothing has been decided so far tonight.
No, and we wanted an exciting contest. We thought it was going to be an exciting contest, and we're getting an exciting contest. 6 goals between the two sides. What a game.
2 in this quarter by Kansas City, 2 by Milwaukee. Level at 3 with Ferdinand. Over to Willie B. That one knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Milwaukee. Milwaukee, a 7-time champion, dating back to all of the different lettered leagues in the history of indoor soccer. Been playing indoor soccer professionally for over 40 years. Kansas City with 3 titles to their name, 2 from the NPSL, 1 from the MISL 3. Here's Tony Walls.
You got to go back to April of '84 for the inception of the Milwaukee Wave.
Nacho plays it long. Sanchez, full speed running back. Kansas City now a 3v2. Milwaukee desperately getting back. Greg with a wall pass to Andreas, driven in there and then blocked by the Wave. Good defensive play by Milwaukee. Huffman comes out with it. Sends it near side to Sanchez. Sanchez fakes a shot right, comes into the middle, left-footed shot, deflected wide. And then a foul called on Sanchez as he takes out Andreas. And Andreas, slow to get up, scrapes himself up off the blue turf and limps off the field.
And Sanchez took a little too much upon himself as he did have Ian Bennett open on that left side.
And here's Ramirez. Henry plays it back to Neto. And Steinwasher to Carvalho. Carvalho shoots and scores. A giveaway by the Comets in their last third. And the Wave make them pay. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Strapping on that surfboard here in Oceanside, making waves in that blue sea. And Steinwasher, that dime dishing dynamo, off of a bounce, a counter. And Carvalho scores again. 3 unanswered goals by the Milwaukee Wave. And just when you thought Kansas City was going to start running away as they had a 3-1 lead, this game has completely flipped itself around. Now with the Wave up by 1, 4-3.
3 straight goals by Milwaukee. And that is not going to make head coach Stefan Stokic very happy at all. Some sloppy play in the back by the Comets gives the Wave the lead. They make the Comets pay. Kazim goes by 2 players. Kazim shoots, and he levels the game. Kansas City 4, Milwaukee 4. It's back in 4th. Hang on to your hat, everybody.
Oh, what a barn burner. And a quick turnaround, a quick response. You get a goal. You get a goal. Multiple goals, 8 goals. Look at that shot. Straight out of London, England, by way of Central Methodist University, the NAIA.
You sound like Oprah, Philly.
Like
you get
Oprah.
a goal. You get a goal. You get a goal.
If only I had Oprah's bank account, Nick. But banking goals are both teams.
1 minute to play. What are we going to see here in the last 60 seconds? Who knows?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Nice bike by Nacho to get it into Milwaukee territory, and then Max Ferdinand blasts it up into the seats.
Harnessing his inner Freddie Mercury, a little bit of Queen. He wants to write. Well, I'm not going to sing it. If I was the lead singer of a band, we'd be called the Tone Deafs.
6 goals in this second quarter. How about that? These games so far in the quarters have been tightly contested defensive battles for the most part. This is the burst of goals that fans have come to love in this indoor game. Here's Willie B. Angles one into the corner for Huffman. Huffman chests it, settles it on the blue turf. Front and center to Max. Ferdinand turns. Comets have a double team on Max. This one on back to Alvarez into Huffman. Huff the stuff. Plays it to Breno. Olivero goes off the wall. Vandegrift read it perfectly and clears it across the half line with just a few seconds left to play in this first half. There's the horn, the first half, and 30 minutes have come to a close in this final quarterfinal match between the 4-seed Kansas City Comets and the 5th-seed Milwaukee Wave. We're standing by. We're going to check in with Tenzin Rampa of the Milwaukee Wave. Amanda Phileman will find him here in just 1 second. I see her, and we are almost ready to go. We've got Giuliano Oliviero. Let's go down to Amanda. She's got the head coach of the Wave right now. Amanda?
Guys, I'm here with Milwaukee head coach Giuliano Oliviero. This game delivered on all fronts that we kind of expected, a fiercely intense battle. Talk to me about their performance and those 3 quick goals that really got you back into this game.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start, but we're able to turn it around and get some momentum going. Unfortunately, we let them tie it up right before the half, but I mean, it's 2 teams that know each other really well. It's quite the rivalry. It's going to be an exciting second half.
They say calmer heads prevail. In a game like this with so much emotion, how do you keep their heads, kind of cool them down and make sure that they stay in control of this matchup?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but we're going to do our best, and it's going to be exciting all the way to the final whistle.
This is what it's all about, giving these guys a show in the arena. Thank you so much. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, Tenzin grew a couple of inches in the matter of an entire half. Folks, that was head coach of Milwaukee with Giuliano Oliviero. Just had to correct that really quickly. But what a first half.
Oh, Philly, we are at halftime. We are tied at 4. We've got a great one here at Frontwave Arena in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs, presented by Verizon. We'll be right back with our halftime show. Stay with us on CBS Sports Golazo.
everybody, welcome to Frontwave Arena, where I am joined by a man whose name is synonymous with MASL, and it would take this entire interview if I had to list all of his accolades and accomplishments. I'm talking about IB26, Ian Bennett himself. Ian, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Panda.
You got a lot of excitement going on, a big game. We'll get into that in just a minute. But, first I just want to talk about this season in general. You guys have had some changes. You've had the addition of Frank Taiu. You've had the emergence of Alex Sanchez. How has that helped take a little pressure off you and make your team a little bit more dangerous?
Yeah, it's great when you especially have all these weapons and these great players. And we got some other guys that do some role playing. So, honestly, I'm just excited to be here. I think it's going to be a really good game. Obviously, it's our rival, but the players we have, we're ready, and hopefully you can bring it tonight.
We're going to talk about that. A big rival. You guys are super physical when you play each other. I don't think tonight's going to be any different. But the neutral turf, how does that play into tonight with this matchup?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Both organizations have great home field advantage, right? So this is kind of a neutral spot. So hopefully, I saw some Wave players, some Wave fans, but I also saw some Comet fans. So it's going to be interesting. But at the end of the day, we got to play, right? You got 4 quarters. We got to get it done, and we got to advance.
Absolutely. Overall, just is there anything that you want to say? Because we know there's lots of fans at home that are watching that couldn't make the trip out here. What do you want to say to them?
No, we just honestly, hopefully we'll bring it back to finals and then we'll get a home game. But honestly, this atmosphere has been incredible. The field's been amazing. We've been treated so great. So we just want to keep it going and keep indoor arena soccer alive.
All right. Ian, I could talk to you all day. I wish they'd let me, but you've got a game to go to, so good luck tonight.
Thank you. All the best.
All right. Thank you so much. Back to you guys. Hey guys, welcome to Frontwave Arena, where I'm joined by Kansas City Comets defender Guerrero Pino. Guerrero, thank you so much for being here today.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so you started your career in Kansas City, and now you're back. You've been here for, 2 seasons now, I believe. Tell me what brings you back to Kansas City and what keeps you going playing this amazing game.
Well, I was here with the Sockets for 6 years, but my house, and then I have everything there in Kansas City. I have my business, everything, job. So it was time for me to get back. And we love the game. We love the game. Kansas City is a great organization. It's a great team. Playing there at home is great. A lot of fans that are supporting us all the time. So it's always good to play there.
You've been in this league for, I believe, 9 seasons, and you're having arguably one of the best defensive seasons of your career. You're 6th in the MASL with blocked shots with 49. How does your defensive presence really help this team, and why do you think you just keep getting better?
They always say, in this league, the older you get, the better you look. So I don't know. I'm just trying to put my piece into the team and kind of like do my part, do my job, and make the team better.
Certainly are doing that, and you're coming up against a tough opponent, Milwaukee, and I asked this question earlier, and I'll ask you the same thing. We've taken home field advantage out of this matchup for both teams tonight. How do you guys feel going into it against the Milwaukee Wave?
We're confident. I think we're confident in what we did over the season, and especially this last week. We know Milwaukee. We played them a couple of times this season, and it's our rivalry already, so it's going to be a good game.
I can't wait to see how it shapes up. Thanks so much for being here, and good luck tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, back to you guys.
And we are at halftime. The Ron Newman Cup Finals presented by Verizon. Kansas City and Milwaukee tied at 4. Our halftime continues with a check with Director of Officials Ryan Sigich. Amanda Phileman sat down with the director, and here's their conversation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frontwave Arena, where I am joined today by the head of officials, Ryan Sigich. Ryan, thank you for joining today.
Hey, great to see you.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun events planned for today. You know, a couple games, that I'm sure you're going to be a part of. But first, want a little bit of a backstory. Now, I know you've been the head of officials since 2011. What was your refereeing career like prior to that?
A lot of outdoor experience, and then started professional indoor soccer in 1999 with what was then the NPSL.
All right, and you have obviously seen a lot of changes from 99, no doubt, but 2011 on. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen in the MASL from a refereeing standpoint?
Social media has just changed our landscape. Just a quick feedback, back in those days we would have to wait for the VHS tape to come to review things, and now we can do it at halftime and give feedback to the coaches and players and look at things ourselves real quickly. So
social media has definitely given people a voice. I'm sure you've not always been a fan of the things that have come back, but I'm sure they're all constructive too. We talk about the rule changes, though. There's been a lot of rule changes, especially over the last couple years specifically. How involved are you guys in those rule changes, and do you like that they're trying to come up with new rules every season?
Yeah, I'm in a more advisory role on it, and my philosophy is to have a rule change. How's it going to improve the game, make the refereeing job easier? And I mean, if it's not going to make an improvement, then why change it? So I think the rule changes we've had this year, especially the two with the 15 seconds on the player injury and the player to penalty box, I think those have been the best rules that this game maybe has ever seen. So I think it's really helped the overall product and the overall flow of the game move along.
Yeah, we talked about the goalkeeper rule too, and not having that double pass back to them. I think that's definitely sped the game up a lot as well and made it more exciting. Talk to me a little bit about the addition of technology into the game today as well.
Yeah, I mean, the whole objective of video review in our case is just to make the game more fair from a perspective. You know, catch any clear-cut errors that have been made or you know, mistakes. And we have a little hybrid change to our current VR process. We're going to introducing VAR to this weekend's playoff games. The two objectives for it going in is just prior to the in the regular season, it's the referee-initiated review can't happen unless it's the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. So we had a recent incident, as an example, in Utica, where we had an attacker score a handball goal. Team didn't have their challenge flag to use. Time on the clock was fourth quarter, 6 minutes. Referee couldn't look at it, so that goal stood. So in this case this weekend, we'll be able to correct something like that. And the second objective is just from a consistency standpoint. So consistent all over the 6 games this particular weekend. There's subjectivity, you know, to our sport. Every referee has a little bit different look at it, you know, knowing the tendencies. Some are a little tighter than others, but having the consistency standpoint over 6 games, I think, is the key objective to it as well. So what's called or not called in game 1 today is going to be the same type of call on Sunday.
Gosh, you know, this game is so fast-paced. I know it has to be helpful to you guys to know that you have those kinds of resources to kind of tap into as well. So going to make for a great playoff weekend. I'm so excited to be here. So happy you're here as well.
Thank you.
And yeah, I can't wait to see how this weekend shapes up.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks a lot, Amanda and Mr. Ryan Sigich. Hey, Philly, let's go through the first half highlights. 8 goals in all in that first half, brother.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Here is the first one. Just 26 seconds in, Lucas Souza turns, fires, and it's 1-0 Kansas City.
I mean, a lot could happen in a man's life in 24 seconds, and Lucas Souza proved that one. But this quick goal, quick answer by Javi Steinwasher in the 9-minute 40 mark of the first quarter created an equalizer and a controversy. And then right out the gate, Stefan Miatovic goes bottom right, defeating William Bonaheny there, and just persistent paid off there for Kyle Gregg as he notched in the third goal. And then we had 3 unanswered goals, a beauty. Golazo on the CBS Sports Golazo Network by the 23-year-old Alex Sanchez. And then a gorgeous counter, Steinwasher to Huffman, gets the score 3-3 in that case. Then Alex Steinwasher, another beautiful dime dish. Carvalho scores, and then Junior Kazim to quickly answer that as we are approaching the halftime mark. Back and forth action we've had, and we didn't expect anything less.
No, we didn't. And here we go. We are ready for the third quarter. We are tied at 3. The winner moves on to take on Chihuahua tomorrow in the early game to take on the top seed in the Chihuahua Savage. That game will air at 2 o'clock Pacific time, 12 noon Central, and 11 o'clock Eastern. Milwaukee will have the ball to begin the third quarter, and they will move it right to left. Frank Tayu, who had 3 fouls late in the first half, sparingly played in the final minutes of that first half. He'll have to be careful for the rest of the game not to accumulate 6 fouls. If that's the case, he will get a red card and be taken out of the game.
We talked about him wearing the number 70 earlier in honor of his brother Uzi, and we addressed the fact that there's nothing wrong with Uzi.
No,
and I see Uzi right there in the stands with the white hat. So
there he
Uzi
is.
Tayu is in the building, in the house. 14 shots for the Milwaukee Wave in the first half to Kansas City's 13. Very, very evenly matched.
Always close. I mean, this is a typical KC and Milwaukee game. Kansas City had it for a moment. Tayu leaves it to Alvarez, and Alvarez gets tangled up with Andreos, who went hobbling off late in the first half. He's back out there and okay. Sanchez looks like he's going to be fine as well, but a foul called on Andreos, and a restart coming up for Milwaukee.
Here the thunder, the banging that you might have heard on your screens is Neto just banging at that plexi. I thought somebody was angrily knocking on our door for us saying something we shouldn't have. Thankfully, that's not the case.
Sanchez to Bennett, top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies. IB26 loves scoring goals against Kansas City. And the Wave have retaken the lead. It's 5-4.
Not only does he love scoring goals like that, he loves dancing. A quick pass from Sanchez to IB26, and he punches, pulverizes that miter ball through the net. And the Wave come out of the gates hot. I said, in a man's life, 24 seconds, a lot can happen. Well, in this case, in Ian Bennett's situation, 15 seconds.
Oh, my goodness. Seen just about everything so far, so use the edge of your seat. You're not going to want to sit back any further in this one because the action is fast and furious. Kansas City back with possession of the ball, trailing by 1.
I think somewhere along the lines, Vin Diesel just picked up a cash check for that Fast and Furious comment.
Reggett trying to bang one off the boards. An attempted Wallace score, and now a breakaway. Carvalho, can he get past Vandegrift? He does! Carvalho scores! The Wave have the biggest lead in the game. It's now 6-4.
Oh, they're jumping for joy in Milwaukee. That one-on-one opportunity between Carvalho and Neto. Chad Vandegrift tried so hard aggressively to come back, pushes Carvalho off, but he still had enough body movement and strength to stand up, and he fires that past Neto, and 6-4 in favor of Milwaukee.
Carvalho's second on the game, and during the course of the regular season, 13 goals, 14 assists for the Salvador Brazilian Ricardo Carvalho in his 10th season. Timeout on the field, and we will keep it right here, Philly. Stefan Stokic wants a timeout to talk to his team, who now trail by 2 goals after Kansas City got it knotted at 4 late in the second quarter. How about that goal from Carvalho? Vandegrift scrambling back as fast as he could to try to stop that one.
But if we take a look, so there it goes. It bounces off the Weston sign. Shout out for them for housing us. There, Reggett hits it. Looks like it kicked off Asqueta. And then it kind of got sandwiched in. Vandegrift headed it. Carvalho was there making his run.
Yeah.
And it looks like there might have been a handball on the play.
Oh, they're looking at it. They are looking.
It'll come off of Vandegrift's noodle.
Now this is an official. This is an official review because both teams have used their cards. Oh, that looks. Does it look like a handball to you? Is it conclusive enough, Philly?
I mean, I wouldn't put my life on the line with that. I'll tell you that much.
Rich Grady talking it over. We have Ryan Sigich up here after review. Oh, it is going to be in a review. So they've been talking about it with Ryan Sigich, and they will take a look at this one.
Under further review for a potential attacker handball.
Okay.
And that would be a...
So this is the new rule, and it's the first time during the playoffs, I believe, that they have implemented this new rule. So Ryan Sigich and the official up here in the VAR saw something and got a hold of the crew down on the ground and talked to him, and then Rich Grady says, yes, we will look at it. Now, will they be able to determine if it was, in fact, a handball? Again, it's got to be conclusive, and you need to look for the right hand of Carvalho. This is frame by frame. Vandegrift deflects it. Oh, and it does hit the hand. It does appear that it hits the hand of Carvalho. Is it enough to disallow the goal?
I just think if it would have hit off his hand with the way that was coming off Steinwasher's pass, it might have affected the movement of the ball a little further. It looked like it just grazed maybe his knuckle, if anything. But to your point, I don't know how conclusive
his hand was in a natural position. Hang on a second here. Might be able to get an explanation here from one of the officials. Here, let's do this here. I'm going to take my headset off. Listen.
So the officials right now are looking for a possible attacker handball, and it has nothing to do with whether or not the arm is in a natural or unnatural position. Because he's the goal scorer, if the ball just simply contacts the arm, has nothing to do with deliberate nature or anything like that, and then he becomes the goal scorer, then you have a possible attacker handball. So that's what the officials are looking at right now.
Okay, beautiful. I love that. I love having officials up here in the booth. That's outstanding. So we've got a clarification on that.
Makes our job easier. This enhanced VAR, brand new in the postseason.
If that's the case, then I mean, I think the goal's got to be disallowed.
Officials are still looking at it. I mean, what a turnaround! I mean, that could be a momentum changer with the way this game's going.
Huge right now. A 2-goal lead for Milwaukee. If it's wiped off the board, of course, back to 1, and Rich Grady and Arturo Ibarra are talking about it. Here is the call. Listen.
After further review, there was a handball by Milwaukee number 7, no goal, free kick, Kansas City midfield.
And there it is. No goal.
Kansas City gets bailed out. What a break.
A huge break for the Comets.
That's going to get the crowd into it, the Kansas City contingent that's here.
Oh,
and they are very loud, even from across the field. And so that's going to give Kansas City perhaps that little bit of boost, that oomph, that confidence to go out there and answer this Wave attack.
Wow. So wipe the goal off the board. 5-4 is the score. And it's Kansas City's ball at the center circle.
And look, credit to the officiating staff because, I mean, you and I missed that. It happened so quick. I didn't even notice it was a handball.
Yeah, same.
Until they started going to the replay on the monitor, I thought we had a good goal.
Kansas City sends it into the corner, off the boards. Marquez near the top of the arc, tries to poke it away over to Pino. Huffman's there for the Wave. Now swing it near side to Javi Steinwasher. Javi forward looking for a teammate. Miatovic disrupts that play. And Marquez gives it to Miatovic. And a foul is called on Steinwasher. Miatovic looking for more than just a foul. Not every foul is a penalty, a wise man once told me.
Very wise man. Any indication as to who that wise man might be?
Might have been my broadcast partner in Kansas City.
A big shout out to Eric Berger.
That's right.
I know a lot of y'all at Kansas City are wondering why my voice is on here and not his, and I can tell you scheduling conflicts.
Here's Miatovic off the boards. That's a top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies. How about Guerrero? Pino. Comets love him. That's his first goal of the season. No goals in the regular season, but he blasts one home in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. We are level again at 5.
Wallace score started by Miatovic. Pulverizes off the wall, and there's Pino. Pop your bottles in Kansas City. Lift up that glass of fine wine as Pino comes back to San Diego, a place that he called home for a number of years, and scores for the Kansas City Comets. That call right here might be a big decision maker, decider, because it would have been 6-4, but it completely changed the momentum. It would have one way or another, but that enabled that goal by Pino, and we're tied at 5.
Holy moly, fans. Oh, Margaret. Hold on to your hat, honey.
The next question I got to ask you, so with Grandma and her cookie jars, does she keep a wide variety there? Is it mainly oatmeal, perhaps a little macadamia? What do we got in Grandma's shelf?
The answer is yes, chocolate chip, oatmeal in a glass container. She can't keep enough up there because they keep getting smashed by the Comets and Wave. Now Andreos looking for a steal, trying to strip Alvarez. Comets knock it away. Here comes Andreos down the right side. Andreos flicks it into Ramon Palmer, but great defense there by the Wave. Alvarez and now Andreos battle for it on the boards. Alvarez gets it back to Max Ferdinand. Ferdinand's clearance headed back in by Vandegrift. Souza and Max Ferdinand in the corner. Now Ferdinand able to sidestep a couple of red jerseys. Gets it up to Breno. Breno Oliveira across the line. He shoots that one blocked by Vandegrift. Foul called on Chad Vandegrift.
And Vandegrift has the nickname Cheese, mainly because of his smile, but no smiles on Vandegrift there. Looked like he had a push-off.
81 blocks on the season for Chad Vandegrift.
You know, a defender of the year in this league, making a very strong argument to win it again.
Sanchez drives one to the left. Comes off the boards to Sanchez. Now Bennett up top. Swing it right side for Sanchez again. Alex Sanchez moving to his right. Shielded away by Kyle Gregg. Comets retake possession of the ball. Flores gets it over to Kyle Gregg down the left side. Gregg trying to measure the hop, sends it off the boards, and Willie B's got it for the Wave.
Gregg did punch his ticket offensively in that first half. And for those unaware of who he is, so USL standout, the all-time leading scorer in St. Louis FC history.
Steinwasher, Esqueda, Alvarez, Tayu. Away from the goal, Ludwig. Javi, Steinwasher, now Ludwig. Alvarez again, forward to Tayu. Frank back out in front. 11:47 to play in the third. Tied at 5. Steinwasher trying to split two jerseys. He goes down and a foul is called on Nacho.
I was very impressed how long he held on to the ball despite getting in the middle of two Comets defenders.
Bennett back to Sanchez. Sanchez moves to his left. Get a really quick shot. Mikey Lennis is on Sanchez. Now Alvarez near the center circle. Over to Carvalho. Carvalho will go off. Oh, almost too many men on the field. No, it's waved off by Rich Grady. Kazim's got it. Comets wanted too many men. Everybody's hands went up in the air, but he was within the touchline.
Well, when they say this game is a matter of inches, they aren't kidding, because that was inches.
Sousa trying to do Wallace score himself, and Willie B pounces on the rebound.
For those at home that are new to this game, wondering what the heck a Wallace score is, think of it as a one-timer, utilizing the wall as a passer, and that's how he had that goal earlier.
Breno runs right into Andreos, knocks the ball free. Sousa, he gets tripped up by Sanchez and a foul on the Wave. 10:41 to play in the third. Christian Philly Philemon, Nick Vassos, here with you live at Frontwave Arena. The Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon. Single elimination. The winner here moves on to take on the top seed Chihuahua Savage tomorrow in the early game, 2 o'clock Pacific, 12 Central, 11 Eastern. Will it be the 4 seed Comets or the 5th seed Wave? Nothing decided so far, and a very competitive game once again between these two rivals.
What a tough hill to climb for either of these two teams. In this battle right here, whoever wins is going to have to take on a team that's back-to-back defending champions. That's your prize going up against one of the deadliest teams this league has seen since its inception.
Chihuahua Savage trying to duplicate the feat by the Baltimore Blast, who won 3 in a row.
Chihuahua defeated the St. Louis Ambush by a score of 5-1, but that scoreline didn't really tell the tale of the game. It was very much back and forth up until the late stages of the game.
Kicked out of bounds by Milwaukee. Comets are going to have it. Miatovic will trigger it out of his last third. Miatovic plays it out wide to Neto. Neto takes a look. Hits it long, too long, out of bounds. Goalkeeper distribution coming up for Willie B and the Wave. Shout out to the watch party in Kansas City at Paul and Jack's. Hello, Comets fans. Hope you're having a good time enjoying some $2 Busch Light Tall Boys.
$2?
$2.
Wait, so we were talking about a $2 steak the other day. Now we're talking about $2 tall boys?
That's right. You got to come to Kansas City sometime, Philly.
I mean, no question. I mean, $4 a steak and a tall boy? I need to leave Southern California as soon as possible.
Tayu over to Ludwig. Back to Steinwasher. Javi walks it in. Cleared away by Vandegrift. Ludwig. Now Ludwig sends it in on a short hop. Neto got it.
It was close that he settled in on it because Steinwasher could have clipped it right past Neto.
Distribution by Neto, settled by Sousa into Nacho. Nacho could not put it on goal. Still loose. And Max Ferdinand cleared it, held in by Palmer. Now Nacho again. He shoots above the crossbar.
Nearly took off that Frontwave Credit Union banner.
Played back to Walls. Walls on over to Ferdinand. Comets with some token high pressure. Played long by Ferdinand, headed back by Vandegrift. It'll stay in play. Walls and Nacho both give chase. Milwaukee controls. Alex Sanchez up to Asqueta. Asqueta with a heavy touch back towards the corner and plays it to Willie B, who sends it right back to Asqueta. Squid across the half line. Over to up to Taiyu. Taiyu flicks it back to Bennett. Bennett moving to his left. Guerrero Pino with a mark on him. Now Asqueta. Ball pinballing around. Kyle Gregg trying to clear it. That one blocked and then taken away by the Wave. Good defensive play there by Alvarez.
It's fine defense by both teams. Pino very much known for his ability to lock down the opposing team's forwards, but you don't really call too many goals by Guerrero Pino, and boy did he come up big moments ago.
Frank Taiyu. Up top to Alvarez, to Bennett. Bennett trying to sidestep. Neto comes off his line to kick it away. Sanchez and Mikey Lennis give chase. Kyle Gregg kicks it away. Still in the left wing corner. Now a whistle and a foul. Milwaukee was not happy with that call. It'll be given to Kansas City with 7:41 to play in the third. Floated one into the corner, right wing corner for Zach Reggett. Last year's Golden Boot winner, tied with Marco Fabian of your Empire Strikers, Philly.
Both players outstanding goal scorers, and Zach Reggett from Kenosha, Wisconsin, finding a nice home in Kansas City. I got to meet his mother earlier in the day here at Frontwave Arena. Lovely people, took a picture together. I love that Midwestern hospitality, and I miss it. I haven't really been back to the Midwest since I graduated from Indiana University.
Love to have you. You come anytime. We'll set you up.
Does that mean I could stay at the Vassos household?
You got it.
All right.
You got it. Mikasa Sukasa.
My fellow Greek brother, I'll bring a bottle of Metaxa. We'll have a good time.
That sounds like trouble, but some good trouble to me.
No good story ever started with we were out having salads.
Tied at 5, under 7 to play. Mikey Lennis up to Tetsane, out wide to Souza, who shoots. Good, blocked by Correa of the Wave. Went down on the log roll, sacrificing his body. Now Neto into the corner once again. Souza is there. Souza went down, could not control it. Near side, Breno. And what do we have here? We've got a whistle on the field. And a blue card against Kansas City.
What a turn of events that can be. Again, the Milwaukee Wave are the league's best when it comes to converting on those power plays.
Here we go. Listen.
2-minute power play, blue card, Kansas City, too many men on the field. Media time.
Okay. Too many men on the field is the call. We will take a break, and when we come back, Milwaukee will be on the power play. We are tied at 5 in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon on CBS Sports Golazo. Stay with us.
For soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.
All right, we are back live at Frontwave, and we're tied at 5. Milwaukee on the power play. Here they come, trotting it up the field. Sanchez to Bennett. Alex Sanchez, far side to Alvarez. Down to Carvalho. Back to Alvarez. Milwaukee on the power play. This year, 44%. Near side for Sanchez. Right side, Alvarez shoots it off the glass, really close to the post. Milwaukee keeps control. Sanchez. Into the target to Tayu. Sanchez, he's got Bennett to the left, goes into Tayu, back out to Alvarez. Now Sanchez, one touch, Bennett takes a touch, shot, save by Neto. A right-footed save there by Nicolau.
Beauty of a kick save.
Sanchez again, down to Bennett. Kansas City on the penalty kill this year, 79%. Down to the corner, Carvalho, log roll, Vandegrift. Mikey Lennis coming in for support. Alvarez, near side Sanchez. Couple of touches, changes direction. Front and center Alvarez. Now near side Alvarez. 43 seconds on the advantage. Here's Sanchez. Right side Carvalho. Front and center Alex Sanchez. Deadly goal scorer. Right side Alvarez. Into Tayu. Turns, fires. Power play. Goal. Milwaukee leads 6-5. It is the king, Frank Tayu.
Power play goal indeed, as they succeeded 44% of the time during the regular season. The pass into Frank Tayu, and the king wields his mighty scepter with the turnaround. If that was a fastball pitch, you'd call it the pulverizer. Frank Tayu creates a goal, a power play goal, and the Wave go up by 1.
So too many men on the field cost the Comets a goal and the lead. Milwaukee retakes the lead 6-5. Both teams back to even strength. Neto shoots it up the near touchline down to Zach Reggett. Here's Reggett stiff-arming Tony Walls away. Walls slapping Reggett's right arm down, called for the foul. Miatovic back to Zach. Front and center Miatovic. He'll try the right side, Henry Ramirez. Ramirez passes it back to Miatovic, now to Zach. Reggett looking for a passing partner. Back to Miatovic, now Henry Ramirez once again. Comets cycling up their offense right now. Miatovic looks right, looks left, goes back to the right again. It's Zach Reggett, front and center, looking to Ramirez, flashing in. Good defense there by Milwaukee. Javi Steinwasher comes out with it, plays it long for Esqueda. Oh, but it goes out of bounds and turns it over to Kansas City.
You'd have to imagine some of the Comets fans in that corner over there have to be family for Henry Ramirez. Costa Mesa, that's right down the road. You could practically ride your bicycle to there from Oceanside.
That's a 3-line violation on that pass. I beg your pardon. So back the other way, and a good break for the Comets. Front and center, 50 feet away. Miatovic. Right side, Tetsane. Couple of touches. He's got a cannon of a left foot, but Huffman had perfect position on him, and he couldn't release the shot. Now Neto. He swipes his right leg through it. Willie B. high into the air to snare it away for the Wave.
Great body control. I thought he was going to catch that outside of his box. He somehow fell and went back into it. That was magic.
Here's Ludwig with some pressure. Comets get a turnover. Ramon Palmer shoots it, and that one had some tremendous English on it. Willie B. catches it, throws it long, and Ludwig heads it forward looking for Tayu, but Neto off his line to kick it away. Foul called on Palmer. Things getting a little chippy here as we are now deep into the third quarter. Getting into the latter stages of this game, these two rivals meeting once again on the floor. And a person told us earlier today the MASL playoffs don't really get started until Kansas City and Milwaukee meet for the first time.
Oh, we had a nice little cackle about that one. Maybe we shouldn't let the cat out of the bag to who that person was. But we got a lot of great information from said individual. And, you know, this is interesting. The Comets 11-10 all-time in the playoffs against the Wave. I mean, Milwaukee and Kansas City have met in the postseason 9 different times since 2010, 2011. So a lot of history and, well, no love lost between both sides. As things start to get a little scrappy late here in the game.
Taiyu trying to settle that pass. He goes down. Guerrero Pino is out with it. Pino down the right side. Pino goes off the glass. Through the box it goes. Correa is there. He's tripped up, and a foul is called on Mikey Lennis.
Too much on that push by Lennis, but he smiled and grinned and played it off. I can't take any credit for the stats I just gave. Our good friend Brian Holland was the individual who gave us that, statistician extraordinaire at Kansas City.
Thank you, Professor. Here's Ian Bennett trying to turn on Miatovic. Miatovic uses his strength to win the ball back, but Ian Bennett knocks it away, gets it up to Carvalho, and now a 3v2. Here's Bennett. He shoots, and that one wide to the left. Now a rebound shot by Carvalho was blocked by Kansas City, and then Miatovic just kicks it away. Comets will go for some changes. Sanchez and Lennis getting tangled up near the referee's crease. Sanchez maintains possession. Quickly into the left wing corner. Vandegrift shields away Carvalho. Neto scoops it up for the Comets. 2 minutes to play in the third. 2 minutes to play in the third. Wave 6, Comets 5. Outlet to Junior Kazim. Kazim. Back to Nacho. Nacho, a team captain. Here's Alex Steinwasher, gets it away. Steinwasher still going, ding dong off the post. Rebound, score!
My jaw dropped. What a gorgeous goal. How Steinwasher managed to find that space. I had to see the angle again, whether somebody got megged on that run. It comes off. Here we go on the replay again. Finds the space, bangs it off the post. Goes after it. Follow your shots, kids, and then just like that, 7-5. Persistence pays off. That's the name of the game. Second time I've said that, I know, but Steinwasher, again, both Steinwashers are having a huge impact for the Milwaukee Wave.
That is the largest lead in the game. Milwaukee 7, Kansas City 5. Now Alex and his brother Javi both have goals in this game.
Representing Sterling Heights, Michigan, the both of them.
Forward to Ramon Palmer. Palmer, front and center, Tetsani moves to his right. Tetsani shoots, and that one blocked out of bounds by Alex Steinwasher. Does it on one end offensively and saves a goal there defensively on that play.
Just Tetsani so calm on the ball to create that space, but the defense, Milwaukee is rippling through.
Restart Kansas City near the left wing corner. 1:23 to play in the third. Reggett flicks it back to Tetsani, who shoots off the near glass. Souza gets the rebound. That one off the side of his foot and goes out of bounds. And it'll be a free kick for Milwaukee in the corner. Cesar Correa comes over and kicks it towards the half line. Nacho picks it up. Nacho trying to move around Ludwig. Now Taiyu picks up the loose ball. Fires it to the near side. Foul called on Breno. Comets ball, 1:04 to play in the third.
See if the Comets.
Yeah. And another steal. This is Asqueta. Over to Taiyu. Taiyu looking to the far post. Shot blocked by Lucas Souza. Out of bounds. Breno Oliveira thought he had a golden opportunity, only for Souza to go down on the log roll.
Thought he had a golden opportunity earlier in the first half, but Souza getting in the way of that. That ball ricocheted up top to the upper stands here at Frontwave Arena. It's practically eye level with where you and I are. Great defense by the Comets.
So from the far touchline, 53 seconds to play in the third. Milwaukee's ball, Carvalho. Back to Sanchez. Alex Sanchez, swing it near side for Alvarez. Alvarez with Taiyu flashing in front of his face. Taiyu marked by Pino. Alvarez will feed it to Taiyu, marked by Pino.
Taiyu's the type of player that likes to get the ball in the box to turn around and score, which is how he got his last goal. But Guerrero Pino, smart defender, who's had years of battles with the King. He's not going to allow Frank Taiyu an easy turnaround like that.
24 seconds left. It deflects over to Henry Ramirez, who gets it to Nacho. Nacho will send the yellow miter ball into the right wing corner, and Ramirez is there along with Andreos. A couple of players hit the deck. Pino dives in. Ferdinand's got it. It's behind Ian Bennett and then kicked back with 2 seconds left to Willie B. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Milwaukee with 2 goals at the end of the third quarter to take the lead in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs against their rivals 7-5. Stay with us on CBS Sports Galazo.
You and throw all those frisbees into the center of the circle. We want you to try to make it into these buckets, because if you do, you're going to win $82 tonight. So on my count, I want you to throw. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, fans. If you just get one in the bucket, you're going to win that prize. I see a few that are really, really close, guys. If you hit me, you do not win anything, I promise. I see a lot of frisbees. Feel like I gotta dodge a few too. All right, keep it up, guys. Keep them coming. Ah, that one almost got me. Gotta be quick on your feet, head on a swivel in this arena for a lot of things. All right, guys, if you still have frisbees in your hand, you better be throwing them. We still don't have a winner, it looks like. We got 30 seconds left, everyone. Ooh, that one was close. I think they have a strategy over here. I think they know what to do. All right, guys, we're almost there. Make sure you don't leave with frisbees in your hand. You want a chance at that prize. All right, 3, 2, 1, we are all done, and I don't think we have a winner. No winners this time, but
all right, we are back for the fourth quarter, and it is a brand new kingdom for the King, Frank Taiyu. As you know, he started in St. Louis, and that organization had high hopes and a lot of anticipation for the season. In the first 14 games, Taiyu, 17 goals, 9 assists, 26 points, averaged 1.8 points per game, and then things sort of fell apart. And it came to a head when the St. Louis Ambush traveled to Empire to take on the Strikers, and it boiled over. Taiyu left the team briefly, came back, and then he was traded eventually to Milwaukee for Robert Williamson. Once in Milwaukee and teamed with IB26 and Alex Sanchez, he scored 20 points in just 6 games, 13 goals, 7 assists, and the Wave went 5-1 when Taiyu plays. A good trade for both teams, really.
Yeah, agreed. And that's one thing we could say is that the departure was mutually beneficial to both Frank Taiyu and the St. Louis Ambush. They had a great run making it to the postseason. And Frank Taiyu, the question was whether or not he could coexist with somebody like Ian Bennett. But Frank Taiyu brings a lot to the table. He's only scored 433 goals over the course of his MASL career to go along with 150 points. So no big deal. But the King wielded his mighty scepter yet again, trying to make Frontwave his domain tonight.
Fourth quarter is underway here at Frontwave Arena. Zach Riggett got knocked in the head by Derek Huffman. I might need a little tap on the head too, because coming out here to the West Coast, I have goofed up all of my times, and I want to make an apology to everybody. You may not have noticed, Philly, as we take a look at this replay here, but I do want to apologize because, I have to admit that I'm wrong when I'm wrong, right? It's a silly mistake that I made, all right? So tomorrow's game is 2 o'clock Pacific, right? It's not what I said earlier. It's not right. The correct times are, if you're in the Central Time Zone, it's 4 o'clock. If you're in the Eastern Time Zone, tomorrow it's 5 Eastern, okay? I was saying the exact opposite. I got it mixed up.
My brain's doing gymnastics now. What are you doing to me?
You're buffering again, Philly.
I'm buffering. I had to click reboot, Control-Alt-Delete on Philly's noggin.
But it was my fault. My fault. Blame me, all right?
No, you are the man, the myth,
my
the
apologies
legend.
to the audience.
Look, 29 years in this business. If you felt like you made a guff, you are forgiven. You have nothing to ever apologize for.
I got to admit when I'm wrong. Got to admit it.
If there's anything you should apologize for is for just making me buffer again.
Marquez heads it back into the box, and Willie B reaches up into the California air to snare it.
Oh, the beautiful California air. What a day we had.
No kid.
Hanging out, breakfast by the pool. SoCal living is nice.
Yeah, real nice. Comets trail by 2. Here they come right to left. Marquez looking to get it to Kyle Gregg. Willie B slides on his left side to scoop it up for the Wave.
6th year in the league for William Bonahetti. 3rd season with the Wave, coming from the Harrisburg Heat. And I think it's safe to say he found a nice home in Milwaukee.
Taiyu trying to come up with his own rebound. Comets kick it out towards the half line. Couple of players battling here. Rich Grady calls the foul, and that is going to go against Kansas City.
Oh, with so much to play, so much on the line. Postseason dreams, maybe revenge on the mind for the Milwaukee Wave. Maybe the Comets thinking history is going to repeat itself. We're going to be in for one heck of a finish to this game. 13:45 left in this fourth quarter. Anything can still happen.
Well, once again, I stand corrected. This is going to go to Kansas City and not Milwaukee. I swear to God, I thought Rich Grady pointed in the other direction. But here we go. Comets ball, trailing by 2.
Maybe my buffering is starting to rub off a little bit on you.
Need to reset. Reset the Wi-Fi. Into Reggett. And a foul called on Max Ferdinand. That's more.
A pretty light foul.
Yeah.
Rich Grady's been letting them play. I get it there. He did have his hands on him. We got an encroachment warning is what the call is.
Here's Miatovic. Nacho hits it first time. That one up into the netting. Goalkeeper distribution coming up to the Wave.
I got to give a nod once again to this enhanced VAR and having Ryan Sigich in the booth just clarifying some things for us. It's so beneficial. When you and I might miss a thing or two,
Yep.
Well, the MASL is putting out all the stops to make sure that none of us miss anything.
Also like to give credit to Daniel Redford is also up here with us. Here's Carvalho with a left-footed drive. Rebound shot by Ludwig. That one into the netting, and Kansas City will have it back. 7-5 is our score. 13-12 left to play in the game. Again, the winner here will advance tomorrow to take on the Chihuahua Savage, the top-seeded Savage. And that game is at 2 o'clock Pacific, 4 Central, and 5 Eastern on MASL TV. The night game featuring the San Diego Sockers and the Baltimore Blast will happen right after that at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Central. Here's Marquez with a drive. Marquez from the near side, no good. Asqueta kicks it over to Bennett. 12:45 to play in the game. Bennett slows it down.
Asqueta's got some speed behind him. Blink your eye, he goes from one box to the other.
Alvarez back to Tony Walls. Here is Alvarez. Comets with some pressure. Pino comes up to kick it away. Pino does a second time. They drive it back in there. Huffman with a shot. Rebound. Cannot be put on target. Neto's got it. Quick outlet to Nacho. popping it forward to Palmer, but off the mark, and the Wave will take it back.
Gosh, so close on both sides of the post there for Milwaukee.
Oh. Huffman will go off, and Taiyu will come back on. Steinwasher and the Wave giveaway by Walls. Here is Andreos. Can he do anything with it? Andreos slots it to the box, and it was kicked away out towards Taiyu.
Just a tough touch for Andreos, who had a nice little counter, playing really good defense. Tasmanian Devil whirlwind his way, though, out of the field of play.
You got to capitalize on those mistakes. Here's Taiyu. He'll turn and fire with the left foot. That is a textbook Taiyu shot right there, and he barely missed it. A battle for the rebound, and Mikey Lennis comes out with it. He'll dribble it away from Alex Sanchez. Back to Neto. Neto gets it out to Lennis. Lennis plays it out wide to Pino. Pino turns and puts his right leg into it, up to Zach Reggett. Reggett rolls it through, flick through, shot, save! Willie B. Kazim put that one right on.
Fine ball movement by the Kansas City Comets, but they ran into a wall. And yes, that's cliche, but that's what we call Willie B, getting his paws all over that miter ball.
Lennis, second time, Zach Reggett with the ball out front. He goes down, off the glass again. It's Kazim dribbling again on top of his laces. Zach Reggett is shaken up, holding his right knee. Lennis turns around. Zach Reggett is hobbling. It looks like he's going to stay in the game. Zach Reggett will stay in the game.
Zach Reggett is a warrior, not the kind of player that's going to want to go down and not help his team out, fighting through the pain.
Bennett looking for far post, and Neto has to scramble. Reggett will go off, and Marquez will come on.
Not looking very comfortable running back to the bench.
Zach Reggett played with immense pain early in the season with a high ankle sprain as Lucas Souza comes down Main Street, and that one nearly taken away. Miatovic plays it forward to Marquez. Marquez to Ramirez. Couple of touches, he shoots just wide to the left. It comes off to Marquez, but he's double teamed and then poked away. Marquez gets it back. Marquez looking far post, wide right. Comets maintain possession. 9.5 to play in the game. They trail by 2. Souza rolls one in. Willie B. bends down, scoops it up, throws it out to Ludwig. Ludwig down the right side. Ludwig looking for someone to play it to, gets it to Javi Steinwasher. Steinwasher double teamed, and then he fouls Nacho, and the Comets will have it. Neto looking for a delay of game call, not going to be called there by the officials.
Looks like Zach Reggett is back on the turf. I mean, a player that, again, a warrior, plays through the pain. You'd have to handcuff him to his bedpost to prevent him from wanting to come and play a ball game.
And here is Zach. Zach trying to turn and lay it off to Palmer. Boy, Zach having some choice words to Asqueta, who comes up smiling. Meanwhile, Huffman over to Javi Steinwasher. Down to the corner. Neto punches it away on the doorstep. Nacho and Alex Steinwasher. Huffman with the touch right out in front, but can't hang on.
And Steinwasher goes to Steinwasher, brother to brother there. You're thinking like one Steinwasher should have maybe been a little more selfish and fired it because he had the space.
Alex Sanchez. Sanchez will shoot, and that one bangs off the glass and goes out of bounds. Comets will have it, and the Comets will bring fresh legs out on the field.
We might have to put in a call to the Department of Homeland Security because Sanchez has a bazooka on.
He does. Such a quick shot as well. Deadly. Neto. On up to Tetsane. Back to Pino. Pino. Perfect ball into the corner for Marquez.
Gorgeous near Wallace Scora, but a nice pass from Pino. Marquez just got too much boot to ball.
No foul on that play. Marquez knocked it out of bounds. Willie B will have it. 8:06 to play in the game. Comets now with high pressure. Looking to get the turnover. Sanchez turns, kicks it up to Taiyu. Caillou with his brother Uzi watching in the stands. Correa kicks it into the corner, looking for Breno Oliveira. Chad Vandergriff steps in front, and Breno grabs Vandergriff and whistled for the foul.
Frustrating evening for Breno, getting the call there, missing a couple of opportunities earlier. He's a fine player who's had career highs this season in Milwaukee.
Quickly up ahead, back to Breno. Vandergriff again steps inside. And that one is still pinballing around. It's a shot and a save by Neto. Still loose. Driven in by Carvalho. It's a 3-goal lead for the Wave.
Carvalho might have had one goal pulled back, but that one was undeniable. Neto did make a save. Let's take a look at the replay once again. Ball bounces high, comes loose, and Carvalho gets a present, an absolute gift. In German, they call it a Geschenk. Wide open net, goes right down Main Street. 8-5 now the lead, 3-goal lead for Milwaukee.
Let's take a break. Another goal by Milwaukee. They built their largest lead in the game. It's now 8-5 Wave. The Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon continues on CBS Sports Golazo next. (8-5) Milwaukee over Kansas City. 7:23 left in the game. Comets must start doing something soon, or Milwaukee will advance to take on the top-seeded Chihuahua Savage.
You and I have called many games, you obviously a lot more, but we know that a 3-goal lead still isn't a safe distance for Milwaukee because throughout the history of this series, both teams have clawed back from even larger deficits.
Miatovic looking to Lucas. Lucas shoots, and that one blocked by Milwaukee. Cesar Correa comes out with it for the Wave. Plays it behind Huffman. Comets scrambling to pick up the loose ball. Milwaukee will make some changes. Huffman goes off. Carvalho comes on. Kansas City with the ball, trailing by 3. Under 7 minutes to play. Miatovic across the half line. Here's Pino over to Mikey Lennis. Lennis moving to his right. He shoots off the top of the glass. Headed back in. Willie B's got it. Willie B fires it long for Breno. Breno and Kyle Gregg collide. It comes off to Marquez. Rion Marquez going forward, and he draws a foul against Milwaukee.
Much to the surprise of Cesar Correa. Didn't think he had enough on that, but the officials are going to keep it here.
Miatovic, the trigger man, once again. The Comets are going to call timeout, and we will keep it right here.
See what Stefan Stokic draws up on his clipboard here. It's simple to say that it's gut check time. Somebody's going to need to step up here for Kansas City because the season's starting to dwindle down really quickly.
Shout out once again to the crew down at Paul and Jack's. Over 100 Comets fans are down there watching Kansas City and Milwaukee. Shout out to all of you down there. Well, as we know, we have documented this season for the Comets. They started out very strong, 13-1-2. They won 8 straight, outscored their opponents. You see it there, 99-66. But injuries and illness and a very tough road schedule had the team finish 2-6, being outscored 58-38 and dropped them from the 2nd seed down to the 4th seed. That is the concern for the Comets coming in to this game. Would they be able to find their form as you look at some nervous Comets fans with their hands on the hips and some of the locals, the Sockers fans who have come out to watch a great indoor game? So Kansas City's going to have to do something special here to level this game, trailing by 3 with 6.5 to play, Philly.
I saw a couple Milwaukee Wave jerseys in the crowd, some Baltimore Blast, so people did make the trip to Oceanside, California, and why not, by the way? It's practically spring break. But to your point, yes, the action needs to start. The offense needs to come from somewhere. You're looking at the turf. Plenty of weapons, though, that Stefan Stokic has to start drawing and cutting into this lead.
Miatovic, Tetsane, here's Regan, and Willie B with an acrobatic save to keep Milwaukee ahead by 3.
That was the save of the game because Regan had the direction and the precision and the velocity. An incredible save, though, by Bonahani.
Nacho, he'll trigger the restart this time. Over to Tetsane, off the glass. Souza with the right foot driven in there, ball loose, out in front of the goal. And then kicked out of bounds by Tetsane. And it'll be Milwaukee's ball with 6:18 to play in the game.
At some point, they're going to have to start thinking 6th attacker. The question's going to be, at what point will they do it? Neto has been utilized as a 6th attacker, and still plenty of weapons on the bench of the Comets.
Nacho kicks it back towards the Wave, half of the field. Cesar Correa and Lucas Souza back there. Kicked away. Vandergriff is going to track it down back towards the referee's crease. He'll shepherd it back to Neto. And Neto's clearance was broken up by Bennett. Here come the Wave. Here's Taiyu. Shot and a goal! Ian Bennett. Another goal against his rival Comets. It's now 9-5.
Just a gorgeous counter. They had the numbers. The flick from Taiyu to his teammate Ian Bennett. I beat tie 6. We can mix and match the two, but an incredible counter. Nice cheeky back heel, and Ian Bennett at the right place at the right time. A huge, huge statement. Commanding lead right now. And just never thought in my lifetime, though, I would say Frank Taiyu to Ian Bennett for a goal. But the chemistry between those two has been incredible. They've found a way to coexist. Not to say that they've ever had any problems in the past, but when you have one superstar and another, you'd have to wonder how they're going to settle. And look, I'm not a scientist, but I know chemistry when I see it.
We talked about Taiyu, we talked about Bennett, and why they are able to coexist. When we get a chance here, I want you to explain that relationship and why it is working in Milwaukee where it may not have worked in other places around the MASL.
Happily do so. We talked about, by the way, when the Kansas City would bring in that 6th attacker. Now is the time. Zach Regan is wearing that powder blue kit as the 6th attacker. I know it says 31. That's a number reserved for Andreas, but it's Regan. And back to what you were saying here, there's a mutual respect for both players. Ian Bennett and Frank Taiyu. So they both want to win championships. As their career starts to wind down,
Miatovic, shot, goal! Comets pull one back. 5:07 to play. It's now 9-6.
6th attacker, Dagger.
And Ejimadu, Philip Ejimadu is now in the game for the Comets.
Let's take a look at the replay again. The pass, Miatovic. And that bounces. One more look from another angle as it got to Lucas Souza. Willie B did get his paws on it, knuckling out of the way, but nobody there to clean it up for Souza. 6th attacker Dagger is there, and Philip Ejimadu makes his return to Southern California. Began his career in Major League Soccer with LAFC, and have another beloved for Philip Ejimado. He was the very first professional athlete I interviewed in my media career.
How about that? Fun fact about Philly.
Yeah, love that. I love myself some Philip Ejimado.
Well, let's see here. Zach Reggett still has the 6th attacker jersey on. And if the Comets get the ball, Ejimado likely will run off and Reggett will run on. Right now, 44 seconds left. Kazim has the ball stripped. Sanchez coming down the right side to Bennett. Oh, what a pretty goal by Ian Bennett. A magical shot from IB26. He has the hat trick, and it gives his team a 10-6 lead.
The three-headed monster of Milwaukee. It was Sanchez, it was Tayu, it was Bennett on that 3-on-1, but Sanchez connects in a cheeky backheel pass. Pass back to goal. Ian Bennett. Throw out your sombreros, because if I'm not mistaken, we got a hat trick for the Canadian assassin, IB26.
10-6 Milwaukee. 4:36 to play. Ejimado comes off. Marquez stands in the center circle. Nacho. Comets in desperation mode now. Trail by 4. Wave fans on the edge of their seat. Just 4 minutes and 17 seconds away from advancing to take on the Chihuahua Savage. And the winner of that game tomorrow will be in the Ron Newman Cup final. Will he be a save? Here comes Javi Steinwasher. Save made by Reggett. Reggett stays on. Miatovic. We've got a shaken up Comet player on the end of the field, and it's Lucas Souza. Lucas is going to hobble off of the field. That's not good news. Lucas is one of their best offensive players. Lucas goes off. Mikey Lennis comes on. Out front, shot, goal! Ramon Palmer, a back heel. It's a 3-goal lead now for Milwaukee. 3:31 to play. Still interesting at this point.
One good back heel deserves another. We saw one by Ian Bennett. We see one now by Ramon Palmer going in on that bottom corner, beating Willie B. And look, 10-7, 3 goals, still a hill to climb, but not out of the question. You are absolutely right. Still very interesting, still very eyebrow-raising. 3:31, a lot can happen. We saw a lot that happened in 15 seconds. We saw a lot in 24 seconds. 3:31, that's all the time in the world.
Ejimado back in there. Milwaukee plays it long. Ejimado with a strong arm, throwing it long to Marquez. Marquez chests it into the left wing corner. Marquez marked by Walls, and a foul called on Rion Marquez. Rich Grady says the elbow got Tony Walls.
And Marquez can't believe it. He's still standing there shaking his head.
3:12, clock ticking away. With each click of the clock, it becomes closer and closer to extending the season of Milwaukee and ending the Comets under 3. Up to Marquez. 6th attacker is back on. Miatovic double teamed on the near board, still double teamed. Miatovic and Nacho plays it back to Reggett. Now a blue card as Tony Walls and Rion Marquez are getting into it.
Both teams getting very spirited here.
It looks like Marquez might be sent off. Will Tony go off with him?
And I know things are starting to wind down here, but Kansas City was still very much in this situation in which, well...
And now that's a yellow for Marquez. Marquez is hot, and he is gone for the rest of the game.
We're still seeing a little bit of extracurricular activity as Willie B's going to make notion of Kansas City. Look, it was still very much a ball game. Might have been a decision. I know Marquez was feeling very passionate about things. The team's still very much in it, but that could potentially cost them. Look, we know how deadly Milwaukee is on the power play anyway. They've already gotten a goal by way of Frank Tayu.
Well, it looks like we've got a timeout on the field, and we will keep it right here. Frustration is now boiling over for the Comets, whose season is
Penalty,
on the brink.
26, Kansas City, 2 minutes for striking, 5-minute misconduct, 2-minute power play.
2 minutes for striking against Rion Marquez, 5-minute misconduct.
Marquez has not stopped talking. In fact, he was clapping at Rich Grady.
And he's going to get another one, and he's going to be out. Marquez has been ejected from the game. That is his third card. I guess Marquez thought, you know what, I'm already out of the game. I might as well get my money's worth. And he's still chewing on Rich Grady. So Kyle Gregg will come over and serve Marquez's time.
Additional 5-minute misconduct to number 26. He is ejected for accumulating 3 cards.
2:39 to play. 10-7 Milwaukee. The Comets have just lost their leading goal scorer in Rion Marquez.
An outstanding year for Marquez, no question. His best in the Major Arena Soccer League.
24 goals, 19 assists. Missed 5 games with injury during the regular season. It could have been an MVP year for Rion Marquez.
Oh, no question.
So back underway. Comets are down a man. And Milwaukee can basically play keep away for the next 2 minutes. 2:26 to play. Milwaukee on the brink of advancing into the semifinal round to take on the Chihuahua Savage, the number 1 seed Chihuahua Savage. Ian Bennett, Alex Sanchez, Tayu, Carvalho, both Steinwashers, and some key saves by Willie B.
Willie B came up huge time and time again for Milwaukee. The Steinwashers imprinted their names in this game with goals and assists. Frank Tayu, but Ian Bennett with a hat trick. He also had a spectacular performance for the Wave today.
Are you not entertained? We've had 17 goals this afternoon between these two rivals. And as Philly and I talked about, these two teams not afraid to mix it up, get into a rock fight. We knew it was going to be close. It is. But Milwaukee, their offense, their talent. Here comes Carvalho down the right side. He's got Bennett far post. Bennett has a 4-goal game. 11-7 Wave. They are on the brink of headed to the semifinals of the Ron Newman Cup playoffs.
You quoted the movie Gladiator, where here's your Russell Crowe as Carvalho on that counter, 2-on-none, finds Ian Bennett, the 4-bagger on the day for IB26. He's hungry for a title. Tayu's hungry for his first title. Carvalho, an exceptional game. It's been all Milwaukee in the second half. Just a commanding performance offensively.
4 goals by Milwaukee here in the fourth frame. It's 11-7. 88 seconds remain in the contest. And that's a power play goal by Ian Bennett, too, by the way.
Second power play goal of the game for the Wave. 2 for 3 on the day for the power play.
Yep. Boy, I tell you, Philly, if you look at this semifinal matchup, and it looks like it's going to be Milwaukee, it's going to be Chihuahua. The way that St. Louis played with Chihuahua, the way that Milwaukee is playing against Kansas City tonight, tomorrow's game is going to be a tough one for Chihuahua. They're going to get everything from a Milwaukee team that's ready to head back to the Ron Newman Cup Finals.
No question about that. A lot more action to happen here.
Oh, now a blue card by Miatovic. I didn't quite see what happened there. Let's get Willie B.
Did Willie B take a shot to the face?
That's above the shoulders. Miatovic not even arguing, walking towards the penalty box. Oh, we got kicked on the ground by Miatovic.
And Willie B is still down.
Trainer is coming onto the field.
Kansas City penalty number 24, 2 minutes, endangering the goalkeeper, power play.
Endangering the goalkeeper, as the call from crew chief Rich Grady. Willie B will come off, and it looks like Augie Ray will come on to finish up here the rest of this game, 54 seconds.
Look, if there was, see how much contact. Look, if there's any blood spill, I mean, we have that fan club mat there that would easily pick up on any red. Let's take a look one more time. Steph went for his attempt. Willie B made the save. Oh. He dove for it, and then Steph fired at the ball that might have been loose. And no question, both officials running at Steph, sandwiching him with blue cards. But Willie B is back up. Don't see any red on the inside the box. And Willie B is going to get a round of applause from not only the other fans, but some Comets fans as well.
So Willie B will go off. Here comes Augie Ray, the backup. 54.6 seconds left in the game. Milwaukee is going to move on to take on Chihuahua.
What a game that's going to be, especially with the confidence that Milwaukee's coming through with. Milwaukee has the ability to play on the sides field. Again, the Achilles heel for the Chihuahua Savage potentially being this building, but they did put in a nice effort against the St. Louis ambush. Still 1-2, though, in this building.
That is true. Chihuahua also has had a day of rest. Milwaukee will not get that convenience. Augie Ray throws it long. Vandegrift with a header. Final seconds ticking away here at Frontwave Arena. Back to Augie Ray. He'll kick it up the near side to Frank Taillou. Taillou's dreams of a Ron Newman Cup championship are still alive, this time with the Milwaukee Wave.
The only honor that eludes the King in his illustrious career. MASL champion. And that story continues.
Alvarez on up to Carvalho. He's had a great game today, too. Taillou. 9 seconds left. And that is going to do it, folks. Another entertaining game between these two longtime rivals. This one won by the Milwaukee Wave. Final score in our final quarterfinal. It is 11-7. The Milwaukee Wave over the Kansas City Comets. Both teams meeting in front of their respective benches, congratulating one another. Another hard-fought battle between these two teams. Philly, it turned out about the way we thought it might. And Milwaukee's now moving on.
Saw a lot of goals. That's something that we had predicted coming into this ball game. Two teams with a lot of history. The question that we were asking at the top of this broadcast, will history repeat itself? Will the Kansas City Comets knock out the Milwaukee Wave, or will it be rewritten? And in this case, Milwaukee with the win, an impressive performance in the third and fourth quarter. They're rewriting this saga, this history. They now have a series advantage all time, 26-22 in all competitions over the course of this rendition of the Major Arena Soccer League. And they're heading to the next round, and the prize that awaits them, Chihuahua Savage. And if you ask me, that ain't no prize, my man.
All right, let's go down to Amanda Philemon. She is there with our star of the game, Ian Bennett, and his 4 goals. Amanda?
Hey, guys, I'm here with Ian Bennett. 4 goals tonight. It was a total team effort, though. Talk to me about how you guys were able to pull off this win.
Yeah, honestly, first thing, God is good. But KC, man, kudos to them, man. It's always a battle against those guys. We're we respect them. Obviously, we don't like each other, but we have a lot of respect for these guys, man. They play hard, but we're ready to go, man. The atmosphere was awesome still, you know what I mean? We created it. It's been a great job here, but job's not done, right? We got to keep doing what we're doing, but a total team effort, and we're just feeling good.
Last year, KC knocked you guys out of the playoffs. How much of that was on your mind tonight to try to return the favor?
Yeah, correct. That's what I told the guys, right? Like, they knocked us out, they sent us home, and we wanted to send them packing, and we did that. But again, we just got to make sure we clean up our mistakes and we sharpen up because, again, I think we got, Chihuahua? So they're going to be a whole nother animal, a whole nother beast. I mean, they won the Shield. They're fantastic. But we got to just recover, and we got to show up tomorrow.
I was going to ask you about that quick turnaround to take on the defending champs. Did you guys talk about this scenario coming into this matchup?
Yeah, Ricardo, we brought like 4 trainers, man. So they're going to be on the clock. They better be ready to work tonight. So we'll be all right, but we're ready to go. I just love this team. Love the resilience. I love what the league's doing, and we're just ready to go.
All right, well, congratulations to you and the Milwaukee Wave. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Get some rest.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, Amanda Philemon with Ian Bennett, IB26. What a game. Final score, Milwaukee 11, Kansas City 7. We will take a break. Christian and I will come back. We'll wrap it up. We'll get you set for the semifinals coming up tomorrow on CBS Sports. Golazo. All right, back live inside Frontwave Arena. The Milwaukee Wave victorious over the Kansas City Comets. So the 5th seed takes down the 4 seed. That's the first time here that with the top 3 seeds advancing that we've had the lower seed beat the upper seed. But it was a rivalry game. These two teams have met so many times before. And let's take a look at some of the highlights, Philly. Yeah, and we're going to begin in the 3rd quarter here with a goal by Ian Bennett, who ended up with 4 on the night. That one top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies, and Ian Bennett was off and flying, Philly.
Well, I would say for the Comets, they're going to need to visit Uncle Franz to get the schnapps. I mean, we did see a lot of goals. We had 4 between both teams in the 3rd quarter, 6 in the 4th, and it was all Milwaukee. Some back-and-forth action for a good portion of the time. But
Steinwasher there to make it 7-5, and that was the end of the 3rd quarter. Here's the 4th quarter, which still favored Milwaukee. That one off the foot of Carvalho, who had a really good game. And then once again, IB26. There he is. And he's off and flying again.
Look, he was quiet throughout the first 3 quarters. Then he just lit up like a Christmas tree in the 4th quarter because the entirety of his hat trick came in the 4th quarter. And that cheeky backheel pass was a thing of beauty.
Palmer says, I can do the same thing, too. That made it 10-7. And then this, the icing on the cake. And that is Ian Bennett, his 4th goal, and the final tally, 11-7. So Milwaukee moves on to take on the Chihuahua Savage tomorrow. It is the number 1 seed Chihuahua Savage taking on the 5th seed in the Milwaukee Wave. That game coming up at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 Central. What do you think about Chihuahua and Milwaukee? I think that is going to be a dandy of a game.
You said it earlier, Chihuahua has the benefit of the rest. And look, the rest scenario doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to the younger players. Who it's going to affect is the older players, the Frank Tayus and the Ian Bennetts. An ice bath is absolutely necessary and more than likely in their near future. The recovery time is going to be huge for the Milwaukee Wave because they have one heck of a hill to climb against a very talented team. And the next game, and the other game is also going to be incredibly entertaining. You said, you quoted Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Well, you're getting the entertainment, and we've already had 2 days with one more day left, the semifinals. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting, and you and I get to do this at least one more time.
By the way, fans, that first game tomorrow is going to be on MASL TV, so check it out there. And then the next game will be the 2 seed San Diego Sockers taking on the 3 seed in the Baltimore Blast. This has the makings and drippings of tradition. 16-time champion, 8-time champion, and Baltimore playing well right now. That's going to be another fantastic matchup.
Oh, history. I know people that go back to the days of the MISL will absolutely love this contest. 2 heavyweights, 2 juggernauts, if you will, in the history of indoor soccer, getting to battle it out here at beautiful Frontwave Arena. Another one that I can't wait. Hopefully you and I get to watch that game and entertain ourselves with the $10 tall boys they have here, not those $2 tall boys. But either way, we're in for a great, great time, and I'm looking forward to being on the call, looking forward to hanging out with you. Just love the indoor game, the greatest show on turf, MASL, the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. We've had a lot of fun.
We certainly have. Tomorrow's game is at 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Craig Elston and Brian Farber will be on the call. That is going to do it from us here from Frontwave Arena. From my broadcast partner, Christian Philemon, and Amanda Philemon, our sideline reporter. My name is Nick Vasso. Special thanks to our crew tonight who have put in a lot of long hours to help us out. Thanks for watching the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo. Good night, everybody.